All right, welcome guys. Welcome to the pre-show of the grand finals of the BCL 8v8 Summer Cup. Today I'm joined by Combo Brain and Losco. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
And during this pre-show, we'll be going over some of the stats, and we'll also be doing some interviews, some pick and ban phases. So it should be a lot of fun. I will go right into the upper and the lower bracket, I guess. So in the upper bracket, we can see all of the rounds that were played. We'll go into some more detail later on. But for now, we can already see that Imagine just won every single round, except for they lost 1 point against Breakdown, which was on Parasol, but we'll go into detail in a bit.
Yeah.
And then the lower bracket, we can see that Legacy ended up there, and they also won every single round, except for a round that they lost against ESF and NAF, which we will also go into more detail in a second. All right, so I guess we'll go into the stats now. Yeah. Yes, we do. So we have round 1 for Legacy. They played against Exodus. We can see that they played Dawnbreaker and Hanen Resort. On Dawnbreaker, they lost 1 round with 63 tickets, but they won the under with 133. So they took the point there. Against ESF, they won both rounds again on Rogue and Parasol. And against Imagine, that's the only time they lost, which will be very interesting to see later on today. They played Zavod and Dawnbreaker, so we'll see. It will be exciting to see if they play those maps tonight.
Doesn't the lower? Yeah.
Oh, and then we have the Imagine Swiss stage. The first round was against Prototype Esports, which was Hammerhead and Siege. They won with a great ticket lead. Then round 2 was against Nafu, Hanen, and Siege. They also won with an amazing ticket lead. And against Legacy again, like we saw earlier, they won Zavod and Dawnbreaker also with a significant ticket lead. Now we'll go into the playoffs here, which is where it gets very interesting. We see that Imagine played against Team Breakdown, Zavod, and then we see the Parasol round, which they lost. And I wanna get into detail about the Parasol round for a second. I talked to Heap and Nickel, and I also saw a bit of the game. And that round they played without a Scout Valley, so Noxp was missing, and they had to switch around rosters, which is why they lost the round. But do you guys think Combo and Losco, could they win that against Legacy tonight if it gets played?
You mean the Parasol Storm?
Yeah, Parasol Storm.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like Parasol Storm is a really, as we know, complex map. It's not really defined by the Scout area, of course, even though the fight would be in between people in Noxp, okay? Which we are kinda there, okay? There is no better, in my opinion, not better from each other. It's just really stacked, okay? Like it's more about rotation, and you cannot really be sure about who's winning that, okay? Like since the level of both teams is pretty close, you're not sure 100%. Not even 50%. I mean, sorry, not even 80% to 1. It's like 50-50 most of the times, because it's really heavy on rotations and knowing when to bring the sleepers or like the flank. Like some people that just go flank and stay there waiting for the respawn.
Yeah, and if we, like, you're a Scout Telepilot, I'm one myself too, but I want to know your opinion. If you look at the pure 8v8 knowledge of Noxp and people, who do you think comes out on top?
I would say you don't have to ask me those questions, okay? Because people will be mad. No, seriously. Like I will go more towards. I will go more towards people, man.
Towards people?
Yeah, he has been playing 8v8 since quite some time, and I've been playing against him, against Noxp, of course. And like of course on my perspective, everyone has got the play style, okay, but people was more annoying in terms of positioning and how to zone myself, the timings to push, okay. But it's really close, okay. It's not a complete it's not that people is more annoying than Nox or whatever. It plays it better. It's pretty close, but in my opinion, on my experience, people is more like knows better when to do some stuff, okay, like pushing, flanking, going sneaky, dropping people on roof, helping the boat, defend the boat, and to cover also pushes into the flags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, but I think it also comes down. Like, I think Pipo is looking at individual skill. I think he's probably a better player. But looking at in a team, I think Noxby is probably a little bit better than Pipo. But like I said, it could go either way.
It's 50-50 maybe.
50-50,
Like
yeah.
it's a 51 or for each depends on your experience. Okay, it's not. It's
think
really
actually,
close.
though, I think it more depends on the daily form they have right now. If they are actually gaming still on a regular basis, and if they had if people had a couple of scrims the last couple of days, because if you're actually playing, it's a little bit more of a difference than having the experience.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sure. I mean, also in FT8 is not really up into your like raw skill. Okay, I mean, of course it's really important, but even if you have your off day where your aim is not really on point, you can still compensate with good team play. So it's really up to the awareness and how you play with your team. That's it. At this level, it's just team play and how you work with your teammates.
Yeah, and then like continuing about Parasol a bit while we're still on the topic, Combo, you're a boater. So you know what question I'm gonna ask you now. So if we look at the Imagine boat, which is Santa and Kalzage and Heap, I believe.
It should be, yeah.
It should be, and then Legacy is Thunder and
Spectre.
Spectre.
I
Oh,
think.
Spectre. Yeah, Spectre. True. Like, who do you think comes out on top in the pure, sense of the boat?
A pure sense of the boat, I think it should be Heap and Santa. But then again, we know literally everyone who's played against BR team knows the BR reps.
Yep.
And
wait.
if you have
the second you disable him and you see nothing, that after 2 seconds you see fucking 5 people that speaks like repair stuff, like.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if you have the team play of 5 people wrapping a boat, that's not killable. So I think in that sense, the Legacy roster is a little bit on top.
Yep. All right, so it will be interesting to see. Then we'll head back over to the stats and finish up the playoff. Then the finals never mind. We're going to the finals that we saw from Imagine was against Nafu, which was Rogue, which was a very interesting game, I have to say. Rogue Transmission, which I believed Nafu was going to take. Like I strongly believed it, but in the end, Imagine came out on top. And then Siege was also a very interesting round because I didn't see Imagine losing that, but in the end they lost the round, but they still managed to come back from it, which was a very nice game to cast and to watch. I will go into the playoff stage of Legacy, which is a bit longer since they ended up in the lower bracket. So they started off against ESF team, was Parasol Storm, which they lost against ESF, and then they won Siege. Then Team Breakdown was a loser bracket round 1. Which was Siege and Parasol, which they both won with a great ticket lead. Then we see the loser bracket 2, which was Team VN versus Siege on Siege and Hanen. Siege they won with a great amount of tickets, and Hanen was a bit closer, but they still won. So I think Siege is a pick that might come out today, like from Legacy. I think that's one pick that they might go for. Like if you look at the stats,
they've played every single time.
Yeah, they've played it every single time, so I think they're gonna go for it again today. And then we'll head over to the last rounds that they played was lower bracket against ESF. They won Siege again. They played Siege, and then they lost. Yeah, they won.
No,
then they played Parasol and they played Hammerhead as well. Hammerhead, a very strong map from Legacy. I don't know if we'll be seeing it today because Imagine could be banning it, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And then last week's game was against Nafu, which was a very interesting game as well. We saw them losing on Siege, actually, which surprised me. But then they managed to win on Parasol, also, again, something that I didn't expect to happen. And then they also won on Zavod, which was a very deserved win, in my opinion. Anything you guys want to add about the last rounds of Legacy that they played?
I was actually pretty surprised they lost 2-0 on the first instance on the upper bracket against ESF. I'm not saying that ESF is a bad team, okay? I mean, but man, like Legacy losing 2-0.
Yeah.
But they played Rogue though, right? Which is
it was
like
it was Paracel and I don't remember. So whatever maps they were, it's still like kinda a surprise, okay?
Yeah, it was
Parasol
Parasol
and
and
Siege.
Siege, yeah.
Oh yeah, even more. I mean, Siege can be a coin flip. Okay, like you can get taken out like with the early in any way. Doesn't really matter like your 1v1 skill level. Most of the time, I mean, most of the times, yes, it matters, but there's a big chunk of possibility that you're getting taken out in the scout early without losing the 1v1. Okay, and even if you win the 1v1 on Shanghai, it doesn't really mean that you won the map, because even if you hold the building, the B tower the entire time, the teams can really lurk and just win by holding the two gimme flags. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a surprise, but maybe I didn't watch the map, sorry, but I guess they went for the AC split.
Yeah, I think people. So on the first half, on the US side, people his seed switch fucked up, so he had to
Okay.
ECM, which screwed him over in the 1v1. And then on the China side, he got Shroud last week.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so
by experience.
yeah. So
Neo Astro, yeah.
yeah. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, but yeah, I was surprised that they lost it, but in the end, they still managed to take it. Parasol, I didn't expect them to win because I think Nafu is very strong on Parasol, but Nafu had a bit of an issue with Hulu, the scout pilot who dropped out and who couldn't play, so they had Polo in the heli, which wasn't ideal for them. But yeah,
wasn't Neo wasn't driving the boat, right?
No,
it was
Neo wasn't driving.
Potato and Masters.
Yeah, it was Potato and Masters.
Masters is the main boater. Potato can do the second job as well. So Neo, yeah, is a big loss. He didn't play. He didn't play that day, or they just decided to not give.
No,
him
he
the
played infantry. I think.
Okay, I see.
So I think that wasn't the ideal setup they could have went for.
Mid round, he switched to boating, I believe. I don't know what happened there, but mid round he did.
I don't know.
Yeah,
probably Neo mad again.
Yeah, could be. All right. With all that being said, we're gonna hop into the interviews right now, and we'll see you guys later in a bit. Oh wait, I'm here. We have some more stats. The last couple of stats coming up here, which are the most first round bans. So the teams who did the bans every round. The most picked map was Dawnbreaker, so that was banned almost every single time as a first ban. And then the most picked map was Parasol Storm, which we also saw a lot. The most picked Decider map was Hammerhead. I think we only saw it once or twice on a cast. I don't really remember. And then the total matches played is 29 matches that were played in total. And the total maps that were played were 63. The number of rule fucks, only two this season, which is very impressive.
I genuinely want to know which rule fuck you.
I think I remember one was in the first round with Breakdown. They used an Igla, which wasn't allowed.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the second one I think was maybe bad behavior in game chat, if I remember correct.
So it should be like 20,000 rule fucks.
Yeah. And then the total number of players that we saw this season was 172 players who played in this season, which is pretty nice, I would say, in the current state of the game. All right, and then with that being said, we're finally actually going to hop into the interviews now. I think this time I'm correct, so we'll see you guys in like 20-ish minutes.
All right, guys. Well, we are here with our first interview of the night of the grand finals. Pretty awesome stuff here. I'm joined with Heeb and with Nickel, two amazing players on this Imagine squad, and we're going to kind of figure out some information about them. We'll have a little bit more that we're going to be talking about than what we typically do. But to start this off, Heeb, how you doing, man?
Doing awesome. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. What about you, Nickel? You feeling good?
I'm feeling just great.
He's just great. All right. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and get this started off. You know, you guys have been teaming on this Imagine team. How long have you guys been teaming for? And how did you guys initially get together?
Ooh, how long?
1 year. About
1 year, I think. On Imagine, yeah, 1 year. But it wasn't only Imagine. We met on a different team.
Okay. What team was that? Can we say it? Is it
it had so many names. Like, it started out as Here for Beer, which I didn't really like.
Hold My Beer, I think.
Those boys?
It was Hold My Beer and Here for Beer. It was like a mixture of the two. No one really knew. We went like two different names. Norman pretty much hit everyone in his DMs and asked if they wanted to team up for some 8v8 thing. And that's how we ended up on the same team.
Yeah, initially we were like a mixed team with 10 or 20 players. And after every week, like 5 players quit, 5 new players joined. We had name switches like after every month and so on.
Yeah, I think I remember actually casting you guys. This was a while ago, right? I mean, we're talking about
August 2020.
Like 2 years ago. Should be.
I was thinking I think I may have cast some of you guys in some things. I remember the name. That is for sure. But anyways, so awesome stuff there. And so moving on into hopefully the next game. Obviously we do have the delay that ended up coming up. But I mean, are you guys planning on teaming together for 2042, or do we have maybe some different plans? Maybe kind of split apart, because hopefully we have a swell of people coming in.
Well, I think I speak for everyone. I think we would love to, but at the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and there needs to be money involved. And doing this for just fun, like in BF4, is simply not worth it. Like, we spent way too much time together.
Yeah, that's true.
Training together, going over strategies and so on. And if at the end of the day we sacrifice like hours and hours every single day, and there we get no money back, it's simply not worth pursuing.
I think we don't really know what competitive is going to look like in 2042, if it is there at all. Transitioning the team, we don't really know if it's going to fit, if it's going to work, if there's going to be similar roles, how it's going to play in general. And as Nico said, if there's no incentive to do it, I don't really know if it's going to be worth investing time into it, which is definitely going to be necessary.
No, that's an interesting point there, especially because we do have a lot of leagues and a lot of organizations that are talking about having leagues popping up in 2042. But if you're not going to be able to have an incentive, it's kind of like, why would I spend that amount of time? I mean, Battlefield 4, obviously, we had ESL 1 series that was able to propel the 5v5 scene, and then of course we did have some sponsored events from AMD to do maybe some 8v8 cups. And I think there were some smaller leagues and organizations that were able to put out some prize pools out there. But for the most part, it was pretty dry. So that will be kind of curious to see, because, honestly, I'm really, really interested to see how much of the old guard from Battlefield 4 stays for 2042. Because typically in a transition from game to game, we do see a lot of you guys kind of peeling out or retiring. And speaking about retiring or possibly leaving, Nickel, congratulations for getting picked up on your new content team. That is absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to some big stuff. And if you guys don't know, Nickel, if you would go ahead and just tell us kind of who you joined and what exactly you're going to be doing over there.
First of all, thanks. It's a long story and we just started teasing. I'm not sure what I can already say publicly. But basically, I'm a content creator for Reversect, short RA. It's a group of players with like the best aim in the world, and they have a lot of aimers that are like specialized on aim training in like Kovacs or AimLab. And actually, recently, like a few weeks ago, RA won a $50,000 competition on Twitch. And my job is basically now, I produce content as a Battlefield player. I'm not a AimLab main or Kovacs main. And that also goes for my teammates now. Let's see what the future holds. We are definitely not a competitive team, like I said. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say for now. There's some big things ahead. There will be sponsors and so on. And it will tie into Battlefield 2042 a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I can say, I think.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I was looking at the release list of the players, and God, there's a lot of Battlefield players on there. It's pretty cool to see, especially with a lot of the consistent streamers and content creators being able to kind of get some love out there for sure. And just real quick, Heeb, I do want to know from you, do you have maybe any content plans played out if you don't play competitively in 2042, or?
I'm not really sure yet. To be honest, I would love to produce content in general, but I'm more of I don't really have a hand for it, Like, I would love to make a. Nicholas always asking me where my Frag movie is, We have like a little secret deal about the Frag movie. It's just not coming because I don't even have an editing software installed on my PC right now. But like stream-wise, like I stream on Twitch, and I think I'm definitely gonna pick that up on 2042, also in the beta. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are done, getting to know players just a little bit. We're going to talk about the match. It's going to be Legacy versus Imagine. As we all know, this is going to be the grand finals. And just real quick, I want to ask you guys, did you expect Legacy to make it? I know Nickel said that he was looking at Nafu, but honestly, I didn't expect Legacy to make it up in the grand final.
I think, yeah, we speak for the entire team. We didn't really expect Legacy to win against Nafu, and I think if you look at the match, it was pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely there were like some factors in there that definitely contributed to Legacy taking it. And
yeah, I mean that map 2 is definitely rough. I think that you can make a case though that with Legacy dropping out the players that they did over on round number 2, it kind of maybe evened it out a little bit, gave an opportunity for Nafu to be able to make that comeback. But speaking of drops, actually, that kind of goes into one of the only maps that you guys lost was on Paracel Storm, due mainly to the fact that your helicopter dropped. Kind of reminiscent, isn't it?
It's cursed. The map is cursed.
It's actually the same shit, just like for Nafu. We both had no helis.
Oh man,
I think
the internet
it
strikes.
It wasn't even only once, because like it happened in the official game, and I think I remember we scrimmed Paracel afterwards, and we also had like some technical difficulties when scrimming it. Yeah, so in our team, it's well known. Paracel is a cursed map, and if you play Paracel, you need to calculate that you're gonna have player drops.
We always have bad luck with Paracel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of just some of the records that we have seen, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. You've only lost one map the entire season so far, and you've only lost 2 rounds total as well. So that's pretty darn impressive overall. The one round that you did win that you actually won the map on was versus Nafu in that upper bracket on Siege. So yeah, very, very fantastic record. You have, looking at kind of the way you guys have played, there's not really a whole lot of maps that you guys particularly shy away from. I was talking to Nickel about this last time. You guys feel pretty comfortable on just about any map that is out there. You're definitely a well-rounded team. If you guys could tailor pick your map pool, what would it be?
That's a tough question. I mean, we've already discussed what map we're gonna ban. I don't know if I should say it here, but there's probably no harm doing it.
No, go ahead. It's gonna be too late.
All right. So for example, as you said, we don't really shy away from too many maps. But the one map we're banning is the one map that has the biggest potential to tilt the team internally, because it's Hammerhead. There's two maps, 2 games going on Hammerhead, right? There's
right now you're breaking Gravity's heart.
I'm so sorry, Gravity. No hammer tanks like on the flags, but the thing is, the Hammerhead has 2 areas of gameplay. It's inside and it's outside. Like Nickel, for example, he always says, like, guys, we need to play Hammerhead. Let's play, just play Hammerhead.
I love it inside.
Yeah, he loves it. It's his playground,
Great
like,
infantry fun.
Yeah, but like on the outside, it's seriously tilting how little influence you actually have on the gameplay. If you don't play it like a rat.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the one you want to ban, but this is going to be a best of 5 with one map obviously going to you guys first.
Mm-hmm.
What maps would you pick? What are they going to be the ones that you would want?
I think we would love to pick Rogue. It's a good 4-flag map for us.
Yeah.
All right.
Legacy in the past has actually banned this map multiple times, I think even.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a very solid choice for us. But we fear they will actually ban it again. So
Yeah,
we have
they
to
might.
look for another map.
I think most maps which are like more vehicle heavy with like a lot of team play aspects are good for us. I think Dawnbreaker could be good for us. The only problem with Dawnbreaker is like, just like with any map, but on Dawnbreaker it hurts you the most because you're on the vehicle that is most affected by high latency gameplay. It's like the heli, stuff can go wrong so easily, like you TV bug because of the server connection, stuff can happen. But I would love to play Dawnbreaker against them. But what other maps are there even? I mean, Hainan, they're strong on Hainan, but I think we could take them. Siege, maybe we would preferably have already in the pocket going into it,
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Siege too, because in the last week's match, we did see Siege being picked by Legacy, and they absolutely got destroyed. It wasn't even close. I mean, that first round did come down to, I think it was like 7 tickets there towards the end, but second round wasn't even close at all. And that will be interesting to see if maybe they kind of want to go back to that versus you guys or not. Now, what exactly, we talked about this before many times, but what is it that you guys need to do in order to take this win? I mean, is there any specific player on Legacy that you got to focus down? Is there any particular strategy that you need to be pulling out, anything like that that's going to make this match go your way?
I mean, not really. I think if we just play, like as I've said before, if we play our game, we're gonna do well. And as Nickel said in his last interview, we need internet.
We need internet.
We need that internet, boys.
we can't have a cursed game where people start dropping and people are like checking their net graphs to find missing packets and stuff like that. I think the only player where you would consider a bigger challenge, a greater challenge than most other teams is probably People, because he's really good in the 1v1s with the scout. But we have someone in our team who can take him on. And I think in general, Legacy's plays have more inaccuracies in them. They make more mistakes in their gameplay, in my opinion, when it comes to like being strategic on Conquest. So it should be fun.
I don't disagree. I think we've pointed out on cast several times that they do seem kind of inconsistent, especially when things don't go their way. When it seems like everything is falling in together and their strategy is working the way they want to, they're a very, very strong team. But as soon as a wrench gets thrown into it, maybe they don't get a kill that they thought they were supposed to, or somebody spawns in an area and starts capping a flag that they're not wanting it to be capped at that point in time. All of a sudden, boom, they start falling apart. So it'll be interesting to see how that ends up turning on out. But, for you guys, obviously you are the favorites going in. 100%. Like, this is, I don't think anybody is going to be voting, or very many of them are going to be voting for Legacy unless you're a BR fan in this instance. You guys are just very, very solid. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that you guys are an extremely solid team. I mean, your record speaks for itself. So, standing back and looking at this, what do you think that the score is going to be at the end of the day? I mean, obviously, like I said, best of 5, you guys are starting out with a 1 map advantage, but do you think that this is going to go to the distance? You think we're going to be seeing a 3-2 ending score line? Or do you think that you guys are going to be able to cap this off fairly quickly?
Well, that is incredibly hard to predict with high latency games, and it also, again, depends on the map pool. If we play something like Zavod, it can be definitely very close. Same goes for Hammerhead. On Siege to Hainan, those maps, I wanted to touch upon this earlier when I couldn't. Those maps are like coin flip maps. They are like super, super risky. If one team does everything right with the breakout, all they have to do is cut the rotations, and there is no comeback possible for the opposing team. And it quickly ends in a game with like 200 tickets, and the second half is going to be over in like 1 or 2 minutes again. And again, no idea. Let's see. Depends on the map pool.
It could really go either way. And I think also if you upscale this idea to the entire map pool we're going to be playing, I think momentum plays a big role in this. If we lose like the first map to one of those coin flip maps, and then like the team mood goes down, and we you never know how it's going to pan out really. It could go any way. But I think I'm fairly confident that we're going to win this, and I think they're definitely going to be able to get 1 map, but in best case scenario, we're going to be able to lock it down.
All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to be ending out that interview here in just a few short moments. Real quick, though, I do want to mention that if there is a drop on Imagine, I'm already signed up and ready to go, guys. I think I can do it this time. I may not be the super aim guy over here that Nickel is, but I'm solid. I bring gusto and confidence and energy. So I got you covered there. I got you covered.
Brett, I'm really sorry I've been ignoring your DMs in the past few days, but yeah, for sure this time we'll sign you up.
Man, I gotta tell you, you guys are talking about crying because of the delay for 2042. I was crying because he was ignoring my DMs. It was rough. It was rough times.
Yeah. Finally, we will have that one guy that plays Stinger all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, I'll do it, baby. I'll do it. All right, guys. Well, we're going to be heading on over to our next interview. It's going to be Dalton, and he's going to be talking over here with the Legacy boys.
All right, guys. Welcome to the interview with Pipo and Cyrint. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
Right, we're gonna start with some questions. First of all, we know who Pipo is. We've already seen him in an interview. We've talked to him already. But who is Sirent? Where do you come from? What do you play? All of that.
Yeah, I'm a 25-year-old guy. I work as an engineer right now. I've been playing FPS for 13 years. I came to BF in 2020, and I'm playing HVH for 1 year now. This experience, but I've been playing CS:GO and other games for quite a while.
All right. And how did you guys meet? Like, I know Pipo is the team leader of Legacy, and how did you come into contact with each other?
I think that Cyrene was one of the secondary infantry found for like finishing our team when we were like assembling Legacy, and on the first practice we have, he actually like came up as a guy that could be like infantry leader on our team, and he was like immediately promoted to that role, and we started knowing each other much better, and it was like really great to have him on the team.
All right,
Yeah,
that makes
that's
a
pretty
lot of
much
sense. Yeah, I think Sirent is indeed a really good infantry player. I've played against him a couple of times, and I can definitely confirm that. And then a bit of a weird question, but what does the future hold for Legacy with this cup coming to its end? Whether you lose or win doesn't really matter, but like, where do you see yourself going with Legacy into the next game, into a different game, maybe?
I think Legacy started with some very good friends trying to assemble a team to play 8v8, right? And we ended up like meeting many other people that were in love with the same game we are in love with, and that's what we got. We got a bunch of good friends and some very good friendship, and we hope to take that into the next battlefield or whatever we decide to play with each other. I think we have a very good friendship, and we hope to hold that.
All right,
Yeah, I
that
feel
makes
like Legacy is all about that friendship. We meet every guys from many teams that played other games, and all come together to just a family right now. We expect to play together in the other games too.
All right, that's very nice to hear. It's always nice to see friendships being formed through the game, especially if you can, like, uphold them even when the game goes away. And then we'll jump into some match-related questions. What has to happen today for you guys to win the match? Like, it's the grand finals, best of 5. What do you see you guys playing, or what do you need to do to win this game?
I think if we get a good map rotation for a start, since we already have that 1-0 side for Imagine, I think we need to start with a good map rotation for us, and we also need to be very organized, because we know that they're a very, very organized and strong team, and they have almost no flaws on their team right now, and they're a very hard to beat team. And if we keep organized and don't get many misplays and a little bit of luck, we can win this game.
Yeah, we have to make the right decisions all the time and keep ourselves together. That's the main mistake we actually make playing against them. But I think this time we learned so much that we might do it. If we make the right decisions. Yes.
All right. And then, like you said earlier, that Sirent is the infantry leader of Legacy. How do you see yourself or the infantry lineup compared to the Imagine lineup? Do you think you can hold up against them?
I think we are prepared. We played some 5v5 tournaments together against each other, and it was pretty close matches. They are very smart guys and very skilled. So we think that they know a little bit more, like experience-wise in 8v8 from our guys, but I think we can match up with them. And this 1 year that we are playing together, I think we learned a lot. The infantry guys, we came from a 5v5 background, and we played a lot of tournaments in 2016, 15. And in this time, we knew that we had to learn a lot to get paired with them, the 8v8 mode. And I think that we can do this. We are prepared, and sometimes you can overcome their experience.
All right, yeah, I definitely believe in you guys. I've seen you guys play together, and I think it's definitely possible. And then people in the Scout Heli, how do you see yourself compared to Imagine Scout Heli, Noxp on the Scout Heli maps?
I have a huge respect for Noxp. He's a very solid player, and he's very experienced 8v8 wise. I've played against him a bunch of times, and I've seen he made some decisions that seem a bit weird at first, but then it makes sense a lot. And nothing but respect for him. And still, I think on a one-on-one, I'd get the leverage over him, and I'd force that every chance I get. But I know it's an 8v8, and that doesn't happen very often. But I think we're gonna have some very good matches if we get to play Scout Heli against each other.
All right. Yeah, I would love to see it. I would love to see infantry heavy maps, but also, like you said, the scout heli maps would be very interesting to see. So, how did you guys prepare for Imagine as a team for tonight? I heard Siren say that you guys did some 5v5s against each other. Is there anything else that you guys did to prepare for them?
This week was a tough week since like it's the last week of tournaments on Battlefield 4, and we had to call some friends and ask for help to get practice on 8v8s because we don't have many teams left playing right now. So we got a bunch of help from the guys from Exodus and a bunch of support from the guys from BH. And there are also a few names I'd like to thank in the end, but they helped us a lot to practice a bunch of maps we are not that familiar with or that comfortable when playing them. So I think that playing those maps with friends and against a good team helps us prepare for the game the best way we can. And getting these practice this week was very good for our team because even though we struggled a little bit, we learned to deal with each other and deal with like lacking some people and not having the best startups and the best comfortable situations, right? And by the way, I'd like to thank a few of the guys that helped us a lot this week. Like a big ton. If there's a chance we actually beat Imagine today, which I think there is, it's due to these guys helping us. It's Nutbag, Bert, Cherokee, Justin, Humilde, Eagle, Bruno, Jonas, John, Massacre, and also Proto, and the guys from Exodus that really helped us, Electrify and Spectre, not just by joining our team as both TV player and also the Jet, but by also providing the server for us to practice on and helping us a lot to get the guys to ring for the other team to practice against us.
All right, yeah, that's very nice to hear. Yes, Siren, go ahead.
Yeah, we were like used to play against CSF. It was the only team that we had, and we always screamed every day in all the weeks before. But since they left the tournament, right, they were eliminated. They stopped playing, so we have to come across every friend that we have to try to make some mixes, and just to keep our practice on, and keep us sharp until the end.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way of looking at it, and also very nice of you people to thank the people who helped you guys grow and who helped you guys practice. I think it's a very respectable thing to do. And then another question: which maps do you think will be played? Like any favorites for you guys? Any favorites for them?
We'd love to play Hammerhead for a start, and the maps that I think that are actually gonna be played, it's Zavod, Hammerhead, Rogue Transmission, and also Siege. I think those are the 4 maps we're gonna be playing tonight.
Yeah, Siren, do you
Yeah,
agree
same.
with what people said?
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
We like to play against each other on infantry maps. It's always very fun to play against them.
Yeah, I think Hammerhead would be a very nice
Hammerhead,
map to see.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think Savot would also be very interesting. You guys last week did amazing against, what was it again? Nafu, it was? Yeah, I casted it, but it was such a blast to cast that map. The way you guys played on Savot was a lot of fun to see. And then who's the favorite of tonight? Imagine or Legacy?
I think there's no doubt they're the favorite right now. They've been winning every single map with a decent leverage on winners bracket, and they already have the 1-0 leverage over us on this grand finals. But I still think we can come back. We are the underdogs right now. We've played almost the entire low bracket since we lost ESF pretty early on the playoffs, and I think that helped us a little bit because we had to organize ourselves and play some very good teams to get over here where we are right now. So I think if there's any chance we're winning this today, it's because we deserve it.
Yep,
Yeah,
definitely.
anything can happen.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That being said, we're gonna go right back to the booth. Thank you guys for doing the interview, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, Dalton.
Thank you, Dalton.
All right, guys. Thank you for the interviews, Brett, Pipo, Cyrint, Nickel, and Heap. It was very interesting hearing all of you guys talk, and a huge respect for coming on and being as honest as you guys been. With that being said, we're gonna hop into the map veto right away. So we'll see that appear on screen any second now, and there it is. So we're gonna start with 2 bans from each team. So 1 ban for Imagine, 1 ban for Legacy, and after that we'll be seeing the picks coming in. So it's a best of 5. Imagine already has 1 point ahead because they played the upper bracket, so they have 1 point in favor of them already. We're gonna wait and see the first ban come in. Right. So the first ban is Hainen Resort by Legacy. I think that's a solid choice. What do you guys think about it, Combo and Losco?
I guess like it's a really solid choice, not because of the Scout in general, but just think that Santa is a really known, insane LIB player on the Santa Kotsege. Depends how you know him. It's really insane, aggressive player on Ainan, and together with flanky strats of Eve can be really annoying. So it's really well known. So I guess they ban it because they don't really want to risk in an already coin flippy map. Plus, we know that Imagine plays it pretty well. So yeah, it's a pretty solid ban for them. Just take off the risk immediately.
I think though it's crazy that they come off the norm, because usually the first ban of Legacy was always Rogue. And I guess now with Electrify joining them, maybe a little bit of cheeky practice and some other stuff, they kind of want to play it.
I think them, and I think Thunder being back is also a big factor for them.
True.
Lolko is a good tanker, but I think Thunder is a bit stronger in the tank than Lolko is.
Yeah, Thunder's got more experience in FPA.
Exactly.
Lolko is really good as well. I've played against him, and I can tell you, you can feel his presence. But Thunder has got way more experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, makes sense as well.
All right, then we'll see what map Imagine bans now.
I guess they will ban Amaret.
Yeah, exactly. That's they said it in the interview. Yeah.
The stories say that Nico is still crying in the corner, saying, "Why you banned that? I wanted to play. I just wanted to play."
Yeah, exactly. But I think they said it in the interview, and I think it's a very smart choice of them to ban it. As Heap said on the back flags, he doesn't want his team to get tilted in one of the maps. So I think it's the smartest option for them to ban it. What do you think, Combo?
I think the usual ban from Imagine was Parasol, and like same with Rogue for Legacy. It doesn't really make sense in the first moment for them to go off the norm, but maybe they have something they didn't show us yet.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so.
I guess they just want to prevent like Emerald is not been playing that much. And since we remember that we are gonna play in a NA server, so they will both have high pings. They kind of want to avoid the infantry maps where they cannot really control. Like for example, Zavod has been playing multiple times over 8 years. Okay, like I guess it's the map that's been playing the most compared. Like if we think about the official matches and scrims, Zavod is the map that has been played the most. So if they have to choose in between infantry map, like from Amerad, Flute Zone, and Zavod, they will go for Zavod 100%. So I guess, yeah, let's see.
Let's see what the picks are now. Yeah. So we're gonna see the first pick coming in here. It's gonna be Siege for Legacy. Yeah, that's expected. Like they've played it almost every round, I think. It's always been their pick, I believe, as well. They've lost it a couple times, but I still think they're pretty solid on Siege, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, they are both solid, okay, and I guess since they've played it a lot of times and they won most of them. I guess they lost only once against ESF, right?
One round against ESF and 2 against Nafu, right?
Yeah, against Nafu they lost as well.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of coin flippy map as well, but if you know to play, then maybe if you can land that Astro shot on the US side, it can be really good. But Depends. All depends if they already have a plan in case they got wiped out from the other side of the map and they lost and they lose on also the B flag. That's the real risky part. If you lose the alley, you lose the flank and the lurk and the other sides on the enemy gimme flag. I guess they have a plan for that, and it's a good pick. If you are confident, it's a good pick. Okay, that's just the reason why I see them picking it.
Yep, should be interesting for sure. And we're gonna look at the next pick from Imagine, and it's gonna be Rogue.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a very interesting pick. I would have thought they would have gone for Dawnbreaker or Zavod. But
in my opinion, Rogue Transmission is one of the most enjoyable maps that you can play. Okay, so everyone will say, "Oh, but you have the Jets and you have the just one attack that can be taken by the team that has got more luck, let's say, or the best timing." But in general, even with attack alley, if you know how to counter it properly, so timing the spawns and also know how to zone him out with Eagles or even with SROs, in my opinion, is one of the most balanced map if you want to see vehicle gameplay, and also infantries can play really well into B and into D. So it's a really fun map to watch as well and to play.
Yeah.
You remember that you have two tow launchers that people forget for some reason that are insanely powerful, both for taking out the allies and for zoning out the tank and deal some damage from the distance. Yeah, it's a really good map. I kind of wanted to see some look.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on the tow launches because I had to fly attack alley once for T13. That combo is already laughing against Ralph.
Unlucky.
Yeah,
unlucky.
Yeah,
it was even against you, Losco.
It was even against you, yeah. And
I guess I shot that myself.
Yeah, I got the heli up 4 times and I got towed 4 times. So yeah, it was a very funny situation. But yeah, Combo, what do you think about Rogue for Imagine?
I think now that DMRs are banned and FLIR and all of target detector or whatever, it's actually way more enjoyable to play. Because prior to that was just you were somewhere, you got spotted immediately, and you hear.
Yeah, DMRs. I mean, I can understand making more guns viable into the competitive scene, but DMRs can be really exploitable. I don't want to say exploitable, but it was for the map design itself, and on the player account we are playing DMRs in a safe position. You can pretty much deny a lot of space for example, if you stay on top of the A flag on Rook, okay, and you have to cover C, where the alley spawns. You can pretty much deny the wall part from the small house and the helipad, where it is the trash can stuff, and all the magazine, what's called the gazebos part, where are all the pipes thing. You pretty much can deny enemies to stay there, and you can cover your teammates without risking anything almost. I mean, the only way to counter it is with a sniper or EDMR as well. And with the combo with the G18, it would have been it's pretty powerful. Okay, so I guess I agree with the DMR ban, even though it's not that game changing, but it can be really annoying. So yeah,
definitely. All right, we're gonna have to continue in the voting here because we're running a bit low on time. So we're gonna see what Legacy picks next. Imagine picks. It's a Dawnbreaker, which is what I expected them to pick. How do we see those 2 teams against each other? Combo, what do you think?
I think from the ground play itself, Imagine has a higher chance of winning. But when it comes to the air and AA gameplay, I think Santa's a little bit too passive on the map most of the time. And the communication between Heli and AA on Legacy is quite strong. So they can squeeze the Heli in positions where he doesn't really have much room to maneuver anymore. And then it doesn't give you a lot of space to deal with, and then you just get pushed by the enemy heli and it's over.
Dawnbreaker, I would say, is far way more enjoyable with the anti-air, and yes, I'm telling that. Okay, it's me saying that. Just because you can pretty much deny space from the alley, because after you kill the enemy alley, you are pretty much free to do whatever you want. Okay, and it was a complete steamroll. The really downside of this is that if you take out the enemy air, you take out also the enemy anti-air, and your anti-air is alive, that anti-air on Dawnbreaker is even more stronger than the tank. Okay, so in that case, the steamroll starts. Okay, but I guess it's less one-sided with anti-air itself. And if you play it properly, and if you find a crack into the enemy team, so a route where you can flank in a moment of distraction from the enemy team, you can just flank the Endel and completely melt him down. So teams have to be careful about the three ways. Like Dawnbreaker is like a CSGO map. You have the top, mid, and bottom. Okay, so you have the mid, then you have the long to A and the long to B, for example. So teams have to actually cover that part of the map, preventing the anti-air to push up to annoy the enemy ally. Your ally, sorry.
Yeah, I have to agree, and we're gonna go into the next pick then. It's gonna be a legacy pick, and it's gonna be Parasol Storm as the fourth map. Yeah, which is again, I think they would prefer that over Zavod, definitely, with Santa being there, and the Imagine infantry lineup is also very dangerous. So I think Parasol Storm is definitely a smart choice there.
I mean, you don't have many more to choose, and
yeah, exactly.
I agree. Like Zavod is a good last map, okay, where you decide everything in case it's needed. Parasol, you can play it. You can play it in a way that you can secure it by yourself. And if you're confident on your plan and on your vehicles, which Legacy are and are as well Magin, is not like how can I say that? It's definitely a good pick for Imagine. Remember that they are really confident into their vehicles, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, we already went into a bit of detail on Parasol, so I think we can keep it pretty short here. But Combo, what do you think?
I'm interested to see whether Legacy is going for the heli drops again with Stingers and Throws or the Javelins to harass the either heli or boat.
Yeah, definitely. Will be interesting to see. And then with the map Veto, then we're gonna go have a look at the lineup that we're gonna be seeing today. So for Imagine, we have Heeb, Noxby, Kalzage, Nickel, Sunny, Jug, Vancera, and Teryx. Kalzage is the tanker, obviously. Noxby is the scout heli. Or Santa, yeah. Depending on how you call him. But yeah, definitely a strong lineup and their core lineup that we've seen every single round, I would say.
Yeah, this is a complete lineup, okay? You have everything on that. Everyone, like for example, even Noxby can play infantry. Yep. Also Kalsege, Santa, whatever you want to call him, is also a great infantry player. And don't forget that you need to have complete players if you want to win. For example, Sunny and Jug, also Nickel, are really good with launchers, rocket launchers as well, and can play in the engineer role perfectly. And then you have Johannes Vencera as well, the same thing. It depends how you want to call him. Johannes and Teryx are just mainly infantry fraggers, also Nickel. So this is a complete team. And that's why they're successful, by the way, okay? Because they can do whatever.
Yep, agreed. And then we'll go have a look at the opposite team, Legacy, their lineup. So there we have Peepo, who is the scout heli for Legacy, Thunder, the tanker, and we have Infernus, Shadow, Feiju, Lucas, Lordsy, and Thermal, all infantry players. So we're gonna have to see what happens when they play rogue with the jet and stuff. But this is like their core lineup that we've seen over and over again this season. Although Thunder hasn't played that much, it was more Lolcool. But last week he told me that he would come back, and he is back for sure. But also a very strong lineup, I would say.
I don't know much about the infantry players. Thunder and people are insane both in everything as well.
I've played some 5v5 against their infantry lineup, and I have to say they're very, very strong. Probably one of the strongest 5v5 teams who still actively play the game. So they're very strong in 5v5, and I think they're able to transition that skill into 8v8 pretty well. Then with the lineups being said, we're gonna keep this pretty short, but I want to know from you guys if you could assemble a super lineup, so a super team with players from every single team. Like, who would be in your lineup, Losco?
Eight me.
Okay, that's also a possibility.
I say that. So I mean, just let's start from the thing that I would be in every team, okay? But let's just count me out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Without me, it will be definitely for the tank Santa, Noxp. Bro, I would say Imagine. I genuinely would say Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I cannot think about a team more complete than Imagine. Literally, I just cannot think about it. And I will change maybe Neo for Jug. Neo is a complete player as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jug is really good, but Neo is also a complete player. Can play infantry way great. Astros, Toes, the boat, of course. Ellie is a gunner as well. Ellie gunner,
Mm-hmm.
Ellie pilot. He can also fight Scout Ellie and attack Ellie, by the way. He cannot play Jet, but whatever, we don't care.
Yep.
Yeah, because Sunny takes the role for the Jet. Also, Eve is a really great Jet player. So I would say Imagine with Neo instead of Jug. Nothing against Jug. I love that guy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I think is a more complete player, and it would be it.
All right. Then combo. I'm interested to hear what you're cooking up.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it would have been one of the Envision T13 Kuma's main lineup, but in the end, it came down to I did it for Zavod because I didn't want to exclude someone.
Mm-hmm.
Santa in the tank, obviously. I see him taking the edge over every single other tanker. Maybe the only guy who's actually coming close is Thunder with his experience, but then again, Santa's a little bit more better in
Powerhouse.
every single. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather play with Hulu because Hulu is complete goat, but I think he would be better for the transport heli.
Mm-hmm.
Then of course, since Raven and Warner aren't playing this season, I take Nick and Terex, Sunny of course, and I think Polo and Jan together with me would be unbeatable. Not beatable on Zavod at least. So that's what I would go for.
All right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I would obviously go for something similar. Like on Zavod, for example, I would go for Terex, Nickel, definitely. But I would also include Sirent and Lordsy as infantry players, because I would love to see how they play in a team with more experienced AG8 players as well. And then tank is also Kalzage, transport would be Heeb. The only thing that I would change about Imagine is like I would swap out a couple infantry players just to see how they would function. But I would also love to see Hulu and Crazy in the attack heli. I think those guys are just, in my opinion, they're on a bit of another level. They've proven it when they've played down in scrims and stuff. They just dominate every single team that's out there. So I think that's the thing I would change. Maybe I would put Amweba in the Jet. It's also something that I would do. But other than that, I think Imagine is very strong. And in the end, it's about team play, not individual players. So props to them for playing well together. That being said, we're going to go into the map overview real quick. So first up, we're going to see Siege coming up. We've already, discussed it, what will happen there. Don't think we have to go into depth anymore. Then we'll see what the next map was. No, we won't. So let's talk a bit about Siege then. The 1v1, US versus China. Let's say Pipo is US, Noxp is China. Who will win the breakout?
Okay, so as everyone knows, I hope at least that the China has a huge advantage at the beginning because it reached the roof faster. I would say that whoever he is on the China side, if they played properly, they win the 1v1 or the 2v2 or the 3v3 because remember also the repairs. So yeah, I mean, so you said if
Yeah,
people is on US and Noxp is in China, Noxp wins it 80% of the times.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then the other way around, China
the same.
being the same.
80%. Yeah, it's they are pretty similar in 1v1 skills. So
All right.
I would say 80% of just because of the 8 advantage.
And then overall the map, what do you think will happen? Will Imagine just dominate, or will we see Legacy being able to pull some stuff?
The only way that Legacy can pull some stuff is to do not care about B and go for A and C.
Yeah, but I think, in my opinion, that people does have a chance against Noxp for sure.
Yeah, it does, of course.
But he'll have to play it right, and like we saw last week, he'll have to watch out for the straw at the start, communicate with the seed switch, which is also pretty important. And last round he fucked that up a bit, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see. Combo, what do you think?
I think from what I've seen, Imagine has a better AC lineup. Like they've shown it time and time again. Even if they lose B, they don't care about it at all. They just hold AC for the whole round and then still win with 200 tickets plus.
Yep.
So
I mean, I was saying that not because like Imagine is gonna only go for AB. I'm saying that it's more likely that Imagine will take the B position by experience and how to push the B flag itself, even if they lose the 1v1. And Legacy, I think they have to go themselves for the AC split and not really try to hold their flag and the B tower. If they do that and they lock them out, then it's another story. But it's really hard to do that, in my opinion, against Imagine. So that's their best shot, in my opinion. Just try to go for the AC hold and just don't care about B at all.
Yeah, I think that's a strong opinion to have, and I think that's what we're going to do as well. All right, with that being said, this will conclude the pre-show of the Grand Finals. I want to thank you, Combo and Losco, both for joining me. And
we are not coming back. I want to say something.
No, this is going to be the end, but I'm gonna give you the word, Losco. You can say what you want.
So we are not coming back. So
no, we're not.
Okay, so this is most likely the last 8v8 match we will have in the BF4 history, like the official, of course. There will be scrims, of course, but the official, the last event we have got. It's been 8 years, man. Like 7 years, 8 years. How much was that? And it's been an insane journey. And I will thank everyone who has been like so patient for all this time and just play the game without almost any income. Okay. And I really want to take this moment to actually remind that we love this game. We played this game for so long. And it's been a great ride, a great time with up and downs from everyone. And this should not be under the radar and underestimate, because this is passion, okay? Like there are players like me that we have been playing for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, because I've been playing from BF3, okay? 8v8 since BF3, and there are a few of them still left. And I just want to be grateful for everyone. It's just I just wanted to say that, okay? Because it's been a pretty big chunk of my life. I mean, it's 10 years. I'm 29, so it's a lot of time, okay?
I'm gonna have to agree with you there, yeah.
I don't know. It's just some sentimental moment.
Yeah, but it's definitely true what you're saying. Like for me personally, the people that I've met through this game are like still to this day my best friends. Like when shit went wrong for me, when I had a rough period in time, the only people that I still had was the people that I met through AG8 and through BF4. So I completely agree with what you're saying there. And I think we shouldn't forget this community, and I think we should, keep coming together as a community and as players and as friends. It hasn't always been pretty for everyone. Everyone has had their ups and downs, but I think in the end we've all become friends, and it's something beautiful that we've built here.
Exactly. So, and yeah, I mean, this is not a goodbye, but it's a arrivederci,
Yeah, exactly.
In Italian, it's we see you next time. Okay. So even even if there will be no official tournaments or stuff like in the new game, like with Battlefield Portal, we'll have a lot of chances to do this again. Okay.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I will. I just took a break the last 5 months from it because real life stuff. I didn't have time and efforts. But definitely I will come back for the new game, and I hope that everyone who stopped in the recent time will come back as well for the new game. It will be really fun.
Definitely.
So I really want to thank everyone. Like this is really deep from me, okay? Because it's been 10 years, man. It's a lot of time, and it's sad, okay, that this is the last time that we will see this officially, of course.
Officially, indeed. Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Thank you for sharing that with us, Losco. I completely agree with you there. With that being said, we're gonna go hop into a break, and after that, Gravity and Brett will be back to cast the first game, which will be Siege. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you later.
See ya, man.
See ya.
Red FX, joined here by Gravity over on this side. But anyways, I hope you are having a fantastic day, either night or afternoon, whichever one it may be. We're all around the world. That's the amazing thing here about this particular event. And we're going to be watching a hell of a match here. This is going to be the finals of the BCL Summer Cup, Legacy versus Imagine. I think everybody is definitely ready and waiting for this. We saw some awesome analysis and introduction there from Dalton, Combo, and Losco. It is crazy to think about just how many years of experience and competitive experience that we have just with the five of us here. Gravity, it's pretty insane.
Definitely 8 years of Battlefield 4, and it's finally coming to an end, at least officially. Who knows? Maybe, there'll be other Battlefield 4 leagues and competitive matches that take place after the release of 2042, but for now, the current group, this is it. We're at that last stage.
We said this 2 times before.
This is true.
Just saying.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. I mean, Battlefield 1, we're like, no, we didn't have rental private servers, and then BF5, we didn't have community servers for a long time, and people just didn't care for the game. So, yeah, who knows?
Well, we will definitely see. I'm hopeful, that is for sure, as 2042 definitely is something that I think can capture the whole competitive community this time around. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and jump, I believe, right into the match here in just a few moments. Our first map is going to be on Siege, and that's actually going to be a really, really good map. We did see Siege last weekend. I believe Legacy actually picked that one against Nafu. Now, they didn't fare so well on that map. That was really, really rough for them. The first round did get very, very close. I think it came down to about 30 or 7. I don't know. It was either 7 tickets or 30 tickets. I don't know why those numbers are in my head. But either way, Nafu ended up just blowing them out of the water in round number 2. So I don't know how well Legacy is going to be faring on this one. Imagine, obviously, the well-rounded team. They're going to be good on pretty much any map, maybe other than Paracel Storm, as it does seem like that's the map that just kills helicopter pilots for whatever reason. But we shall see.
Yeah, and here we go. We got 5 seconds on the clock. We got Legacy taking the U.S. side first, though, so they will have that little bird advantage, versus Imagine going to be on the China side. We see right now we got Sunny on the low ground, waiting for that strong attempt on the helo. Remember, this is just to keep that helo at bay and kind of force them to take a longer route around the buildings. Sea Shadow on the Legacy side going to do the same thing. Sraw's going to go up against the Z11, going to get it close, but it's definitely going to miss. Now, as we mentioned in the analyst cast, as they mentioned, that the Z11 does get there faster. Pipo against who I believe it's going to be. Oh, Terex will also go down. So Legacy going to win that battle, and they're going to hop on the roof first.
That is absolutely huge here, guys. It does allow them also to have those drops over there onto that sea site. And interestingly enough, back out to the map real quick. I do want to take a look over there towards the south. Nobody, no swimmers, no nothing. We didn't see any vehicles going in for a drop. They have no presence over here onto that B side. Not even players in the elevators. This is a big deal.
Yeah, huge. I think I saw one player from Imagine on the far right side of the map. Nice draw there from Fejo down from the UN building to the low ground. C flag finally going to get picked up by Imagine, but there's a 2 flag hold early on in this game, and the tickets are already starting to drop for Imagine. That's a 248 to 230 lead, and we have Thunder Black in the tank against Kalzagi. 2 incredible tankers right now, and we see Thunder Black kind of moving across the bridge a little bit, trying to help prevent any infantry from Imagine getting to that B side building.
Heeb there trying to dodge and dive away from that tank. Finally does get taken down, and now that means that there's not going to be any presence over there towards the north side of the map, but we do see a couple of swimmers coming on through. Maybe they can get some kind of presence here onto that B flag. Now, if you are in this situation, Grav, you already have swimmers down in there. Would it be just, I guess makes more sense to go over there towards that A side, but it does look like the helicopter is picked up right out of spawn.
Okay, here's the weird thing. I swear I saw slams or something land on top of that helo, or there was something on the ground. So there was something there. That helo popped immediately when it should have been able to take off. So I would have loved to see what happened there. But you're absolutely right, Brett. This is really, really a desperate situation for Imagine. They've got a swimmer so far south of the map. They're going to swim so far in the low ground. And we see more. Oh my God, that's what he's doing. Oh my god, they're dropping slams and suiciding them in the uncap to get the instant kill on the scout helo. That is incredible, Brett.
So we're seeing strats coming out in 2021 on Siege of Shanghai. That is absolutely insane. I love it. Love it coming out from these boys right now. Nickel has been able to get up on top of that B site, though, electing not to just get the cap onto the B flag. Instead, they're going to be raining on down towards A, going for a split push, basically. And I don't disagree with this, Graph. If you can get some players down into that A site, it is very difficult to kind of weed them out. You're going to have to commit your armor. You're going to have to commit at least one, maybe two infantry players in order to do that. So not too bad. The problem is that they're struggling to keep control over here on C. It has constantly been flash, and they have been able to hold up at least two, sometimes three players on C.
Yeah, that's the big problem with doing these split pushes is you need to decide eventually where you're going to throw all your pieces. You need to throw all your infantry at some point at a flag at some point. But with Legacy having the B building, they're able to just drop down, and we do see Peepo back up in the scout helo, or still in the scout helo, going to go after Noxby, who actually got off the ground that time, and Noxby's going to go down again. So the scout helo advantage still going to remain in favor of Legacy.
I was going to say, if Nox hit that shot, that would have been absolutely fantastic, but not going to happen. Vincera is going to be down in the stairwell here. We'll be able to pick up at least one. Looking for number two, as they are fairly solid so far in this defense. Now, B did get taken over. We are going to be seeing that middle flag here for Imagine, which is a decent position to be in. It will give them a platform to be able to attack either flag, and I think that it will definitely help them to get on top of that roof over there towards C. You do see him starting to head on over there towards that position. Thunder, though, is getting aggressive as he does make his way over here towards that Charlie site. Now, with them being over in this position here for Thunder, you're going to be getting pinched by Calzage. You are going to be getting some straws coming in, probably from the backside, maybe, or at the very least from that roof. Is it better just to go ahead and maybe push back over towards your A site?
So, in theory, yes, because obviously the rooftops on the C flag are really, really dangerous if you're not careful. He trying to go for that straw up on the rooftop. I think it's an easier position for the tank to be on the A flag, but it really depends where your infantry are. If the tank is alone, it's not going to do much. You need to have that infantry support. And most of Legacy going to push the C flag and actually going to gray it out here. Lucas on the roof, Thunder Black on the far side. We do see Calzage just south of the main C flag. And oh my god, Thunder Black's going to go right into the car garage here and see if he can just get on flag radius, and he will. Legacy going to cap the flag and resume the bleed at 132 tickets to 197.
And this is not a terrible situation yet for Imagine. I do want to mention that they have plenty of time here to make this comeback. With Thunder going down right there, that is going to give Calzage maybe an opportunity to clean up this C flag and to get this 2 flag burn back into their favor. Nice job there, though, as Infernus does get cleaned up as well. So I think that they're going to be okay over there onto that A site. Imagine now starting to burn out over onto C. They've cleaned up all the infantry there. So with Nox up in the air, he does have a opportunity to kind of help out with this B site. And actually, did Peepo go down earlier, or is he just back away? He is. So yeah, no armor, no air. All infantry players are going to be left for Legacy to try and make this play happen. And Imagine this is their moment right here to get back into this game.
Yeah, we see a 1v2 fight currently on the C flag, and the great thing about Noxby's position, but Imagine's position, is with Noxby up in the air, it takes so many infantry up on the B flag just to stop the burn for Legacy, for Imagine to win it. So Legacy needs to have all these infantry players up here, and they're not able to commit fully to defending a map flag like the A or C flag that also gets pushed. So we've got Santa pushing in on the C flag. That'll help the cap as well. And Legacy, this flag is going to go gray. So this could be a very, very big swing in the way of Imagine.
Big push coming in for Imagine right now, and it does look like they will be able to clean this up. You see Vincera able to pick up 1 kill, not going to be able to get the second one. Actually, Hio doing a great job of picking up 2 on that elevator position, and that is going to stop the full cap from coming in. So it delays it just for a few seconds, and there it goes. Finally, does get pushed back in as that helicopter absolutely just ravishes that side of the map. And we are also going to be seeing that A flag getting neutralized. So a possible 3 cap came in. here for Imagine, and this is huge here. The guys, they kind of stutter stepped a little bit, looked a little shaky at the beginning, but you know, this is what you expect from a team like Imagine, right? The caliber of players that they have over there. Yeah, it may not look good at first, but they have the confidence, they have the experience, and they have the ice in the veins to be able to just shake off a bad start. And now look at them, 3-cap. They're on the way basically to take the lead in this. They have taken care of the helicopter as well. Fantastic job so far.
Yeah, we did see actually Noxby take out Peepo again after he got hit by a stinger just north of around the big main tower on the B flag. Now we've got the A flag also going back the way of Legacy, but there's still a 2-flag hold. The bleeds going in the way of Imagine. Huge smaw from Terex finds Infernus and Peepo in the elevator shaft, and look at the death of Legacy. They got completely wiped off the C flag, and this is exactly a reverse of what happened at the opening. Legacy has nobody towards the B and C flags, Brett.
No, they do not. We are going to be seeing them getting back their home flag, so that is definitely a start. But look at Juggin here. He is going to be able to contest this consistently, and this is what I was talking about before. It is so irritating when these players get down inside this position on A, because you have to either commit your tank to go down there and weed him out, or a couple of infantry players to do it. And I love this from Juggin. He's going to be able to get a couple of slams here. So if the tank does decide to come in that position, he is going to be surprised just a bit. And this slowing down the tank for Thunder, or from Thunder, is going to be huge here. We both get the information here for Kalzagi. A player actually comes in. Is this going to be a C4 or slams coming down? It is. Thunder is so low. One shot will be able to take him down. Still the slams on the side. There it is. Beautiful job here from Nickel to be able to take him down. A 1-2 punch. Thunder had no clue that he was actually there under bridge.
And we do see Kalzagi currently under the B flag, trying to take a little bit of cover there, but because there's a couple infantry from Legacy still hovering around the B flag, and this is still the only flag that Legacy has any infantry on aside from A, and they actually have problems on the A flag themselves. Tickets starting to get really, really close to being even now after that huge 80 to 90 ticket advantage from Legacy early on. I mean, I think this is entirely completely the result of the air dominance now that Noxby has completely shut down Peepo in the air.
Oh, it absolutely is. Kalzagi is doing some work up top. He's been able to pick up 2 kills. Looks like Legacy is trying to shoo him away. 2 players are going to be stuck underneath that bridge for the time being. But right now, Kalzagi has basically the run of the entire map. He doesn't really have to worry all too much about really any kind of pressure going to be coming his way just yet. We are going to be seeing Legacy, though, losing out onto A once more. 3 players are going to be set up maybe for a push onto B. But yeah, this is already a terrible situation for them to try and pull on out of. 52 tickets now to 72. The lead has switched over to Imagine right now. Now, if they can clean up A side, right? If they can actually clean up this position, should they be going straight over there towards B, or should we be seeing maybe a flank to C to maybe capture that, go back to that maybe 2-flag split setup that we saw Imagine doing earlier?
At this point, I wouldn't actually mind just seeing Peepo dive towards the C flag, sacrifice the helo just to drop a bunch of squad mates on there, because C is a lot easier to hold even with a helicopter in the air, because the helicopter can't farm in those inside paths without, you know, being in a little bit of danger. The tank has also a little bit of a hard time, but I don't think going for the B flag is the right objective. Unfortunately for Legacy, they've been completely wiped off the B flag as well, and now we're in some serious trouble. Peepo in the air. We see the Stingers going out against him. He popped ECM, and now he's going to have a dive shot onto the other helo, but it's just... Oh, he gets hit by a stinger, and he's going to have to go down. He actually bails out of the helo, looking for the wraps, and another shot going to clean up the helicopter.
And that is just fantastic play coming in for the boys over on Imagine. 8 tickets left now to 68. No chance to get a flag neutralized in time. Good halves already being thrown out from these boys. They know exactly what just happened there. And I got to say, that is some fantastic play coming in for Imagine. And, you know, Legacy... they got to be shaken just a bit. I mean, that's pretty rough, right? You start out, you have a huge lead. I mean, we're talking about 90 tickets at one point, close to 100, that they were in the lead to be able to possibly close out this game with a massive advantage. And then all of a sudden, it flips on its head. The helicopter goes down. Thunder gets taken out. There's no vehicles on the map in order to keep that pressure onto Imagine, and they just absolutely sweep it. And the crazy thing is take a look at the KDs. Nothing really stands out. Like Kawasaki, obviously 18-3. He did a great job, but I mean, nobody else really other than Terex was just throwing up those numbers. And if you take a look at Nox actually didn't do as much damage as maybe we would have thought he would have done after he got the helicopter up.
Yeah, that would have been that definitely took Kawasaki going 18-3 isn't really that surprising. Shanghai isn't exactly a map known for having a bunch of fairly high tank scores, but so right now we're going to go to Dalton with an analysis. What did you think of that round, Dalton?
Yeah, it was a very interesting one. I think Legacy had a very strong start, but somewhere along the way they kind of lost the pressure, and Imagine managed to come back. It was very interesting seeing people win that 1v1, as Losco said in the pre-show. It was an 80% chance that he gave Noxp to win it. So it was nice seeing people actually take the win there. But yeah, very strong comeback by Imagine. It's going to be very hard next round for Legacy to be able to pull something off. But
yeah, it's interesting.
Possible.
It's interesting to see that because, you know, Legacy is a team that we have talked about multiple times to where when things go their way, they are absolutely just devastating, right? And that's kind of true of just about any team, but they really put in the work, and it's just like they're a machine, right? But Imagine to be down like that and to be able to come back, like that's just absolutely insane. I mean, what exactly did Legacy just fail so hard on in order to just lose out so bad?
I think they got out rotated by Imagine. Imagine did some interesting rotations throughout the round, and I don't think Legacy was able to counter that. And at some point, they got full capped. They were lucky there was one guy still alive on Charlie that they had the sleeper there, because if that wasn't the case, I think we would have seen an even bigger loss by Legacy. So I think it's very strong by Imagine, and Legacy has to step up their game for the next round.
So now, going into this next round here, with that, kind of in mind, what is it that Legacy is going to have to do in order to take this round? Because they're already a map down in this best of 5 series.
Yep. I think they're going to have to secure their back flag because they lost it last round. Losing that on any map, basically, is a very big mistake. So I think that's definitely what they're going to look out for in the next round.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Dalton, here for joining us. He's going to be back here at the end of round number 2 as well to kind of break down what's going on then. But we're going to head back into this second round and see if Legacy is going to be able to make this comeback because, I mean, 68 tickets isn't a terrible scoreline, but the thing that is really, really scary right now is that Legacy is on the Chinese side, which is typically the side that you expect to lose in this map.
Absolutely. 68 tickets, like you said, not too bad. Phasia looking for the straw once again, just a little off. Peepo now in the Z11 against Noxp in the, oh my god, that's just, he just gets obliterated by Noxp in the little bird now. Sunny gonna suicide or maybe gets killed by the little bird as he bails out. B flag gonna go the way of Imagine immediately. Jug gonna bail down on the C flag. This is looking like a super strong opening for Imagine right now. We actually see 2 suicides off of Legacy, and I assume that they were on the B side just so they can defend C.
Well, we are going to be seeing just some chaotic play coming out, and Imagine keeping the pressure onto him. I love this from Imagine. They are not slowing down whatsoever. They know that they have an advantage here. They have the momentum, and they're going to be using it all to their advantage, and I love it. Legacy is going to be throwing 2 fast movers to try and maybe get some presence on that B side of the map. It does seem like, though, we are going to be having Nickel actually getting some rockets in to slow that down. Nickel does get picked up, as we are going to be seeing those players getting into those elevators to try and make their way up to the top side of this B flag. Now, Legacy, they do have some swimmers that are going to be out, maybe to try and attempt a push onto the A side, but yeah, this is going to be rough, especially because Imagine already has some players up there and waiting for those players to come in.
Yeah, Imagine will have an easy shot onto Infernus. Infernus is going to trigger the elevator on the left side to make sure that maybe there's a little bit of a fake out. Lordsy gonna find one kill, or Sea Shadow gonna get the kill onto Heaps. They actually broke one down, so there's nobody else on the rooftop. Legacy, possible cap potential here as Pipo is back up in the helo. He's gonna have to go. Oh, he gets hit. Nah, just the worst luck ever for him. Now, he does find one Heat Seeker shot onto Noxby, so the battle isn't over yet, but a second shot, and it looks like some damage from Kelzagi in the 50 cal of the tank. Gonna do enough damage to take him out.
At the very least, he shooed away the helicopter so that they could get the clear onto that B site. Now, what's critical here is that they don't lose C. So we are going to see Infernus coming on through. There is a player for Imagine on top of that C building. I think, no, they have been cleared off. So, yeah, this is a good reset here for Legacy. It's just depending on how long they can hold on to this. We do see Phasia and company up on top. They are going to be trying to get maybe some shots in onto that little bird to keep him away. But I love this. Go ahead, push on onto that A site. Make sure that they are going to be able to keep the pressure now onto Imagine. They've got to flip the script on them, right? They can't really be sitting back on this 2 flag. If you give too much room here to Imagine, they are going to be able to make something out of it.
Absolutely. You are so right about that extra push towards the A flag, and actually I would like to see another person drop out there, but Imagine going to be just swarm the B flag right now, and there's so many players of Legacy that are just trying to get a shot onto that helicopter, and that's what's going to make all the difference. B flag will be resecured for Imagine, and Legacy looks like Lucas close on the low dock side of the A flag. Kalzagi knows he's there, going to get the kill onto him from the bridge. Nice. Slams! And C4 going to get the kill from Hio, and Kalzagi is going to go down. Hio now in a prime position to move towards the A flag, but he's going to need people to spawn on him, and it looks like Imagine's already rotating to intercept.
And I love the fact that they're going to be pushing over onto C as well. So that's going to be hanging up at least one infantry player, maybe the tank as well, back there to deal with this. But yeah, I think that we're going to be seeing some spawns coming in. They're going to bomb this A flag as quickly as possible. And if they can get about 4 players on it, that is going to be a super fast burn. But Kalzagi is going to be back up. He's going to be able to come back in. And Kalzagi is not a bad infantry player. That was a terrible time to say that. But yes, he absolutely can hold his own. Unfortunately, he does get taken down there in that instance. But there's a nasty pinch that's going to be coming on through. Jugan is going to be able to pick up at least 1. Looking for 2. Will find it. Looking for the 3rd. He can't quite connect on it, as it's just 2 players are left up and alive. Lucas and Hio do the work that they need to in order to get this cap on A.
So we saw this in a previous Imagine game where they just held the AC flag for most of the match against, I believe it may have been against Nafu. It's just a matter of how long can they hold it. With the helicopter up, I would almost like to see the tank of Thunder Black move towards the A flag just to intercept, and be an extra anchor on that spot. If the tank gets below the A flag, then it's going to require less infantry to defend, and Legacy can kind of maneuver a little bit more and add more resources to their C defense, which they're going to need now, as Imagine going to drop a few players off the rooftop now. Sea Shadow gets smawed and then hit by Hebe with the P90. And Legacy, I'm not sure I like this push towards the top of the rooftop.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you right now. I think that with them not having the little bird up to kind of help out, that they should have maybe soaked that 2 flag cap that they had with A and C a little bit longer than what they did. So this might be a mistake on their part. Now we do see Infernus set up, and he is going to be able to stop this cap for the time being. So at the very least, he's slowing it down, and that will give an opportunity for these spawns to come on through and maybe to cap this back over there for the squad. Nice job there for Infernus as he picks up 2, and that's a great way to start out getting this cap back.
Yeah, he picks up 2. Unfortunately, he's going to get killed by Nickel from the rooftop. And Legacy still needs more infantry here, and I don't think they have the resources on the flag. And it looks like they've got 1 player below. They need help. Legacy is scattered. Why? They have a swimmer. They've got 2 people north of B. They've got an MRAP going towards the flag of Hio. This is just such a weird rotation from Legacy. They kind of are split as to where they want to go. B flag, if you're going to put resources there, you need all the resources there. I can understand keeping an anchor on the C flag, but the helicopter is what's going to completely destroy all of their players on the B flag if they're not careful.
Well, we are going to be seeing, I think, people up in the chopper, so he is going to have an opportunity maybe to jump onto Nox here with when he's focusing on these infantry players. The problem is I think he's going to be too late and not able really to use that bait to his advantage, unfortunately. And yeah, you can see Heeb here just shooing him away with those stingers, and that's going to be a rough time for him to try and come back through. Heeb, if you hit a magnum shot on that guy, I will personally send you a brand new computer. That is just, yeah, that would have been insane. But anyways, he doesn't hit it. He ends up dying. Whew, that's going to save my pocketbook, that's for sure. But anyways, we are going to be seeing Jugan now up on top, still going to be trying to shoo away Peepo. Peepo down to about half health here in this engagement, and he's going to be able to win it. So this is an opportunity now for Legacy to get in it. But I do want to point out, they have no flags. A and C are completely grayed out. We do see a presence here onto B, but they haven't been able to get any kind of presence. And oh man, that shot almost connected.
Legacy playing with fire here. They're down 50 tickets this round, but that doesn't count those other 68 tickets that they lost the first round by. Legacy just going in with a super strong round lead right now. Hio's going to go down to Terex. There's a ton of infantry from Imagine on the B flag right now. Peepo still circling around. Finally, with some air dominance, going to be able to help Legacy cap the flag, but there's still so many members of Imagine here.
And we do see Legacy just spawning so many of that. I think the half of their team now is going to be focused in onto this B site at the moment. And Nickel is doing everything that he can. He does pick up Lucas. Smokes are going to be out. So this is going to be a very close quarters fight about to happen here down below. And so far, we've seen some really good plays coming in from Imagine. They have been able to stay up, stay alive onto this site. And Legacy is really struggling just to get this cap. This is a lot of time that's being wasted here. A lot of resources that Imagine is forcing Legacy to have to expend without putting pressure onto the A flag. So really good job on them. And they have a lot of tickets here to work with. 96 now for Legacy. They've got to make the play in about 30 tickets or so in order to take this map. And well, while they do have that 2 flag cap, a big push over to C.
This is exactly what Imagine needs to do. And Peepo sees it, calls it out. Now we need to see some redeploys from Legacy, but they don't have a ton of tickets to work with. Legacy needs to defend the C flag. The tank is there. If the tank isn't enough, you need more. Nickel going to get killed by Peepo. The flag is absolutely going to go gray in just a second here. Thunder Black on flag radius, going to try to help defend it. The flag ever so close to being grayed. Hio finds another kill on Terex. Is it enough? The flag is gonna go gray. They don't have enough on the flag radius. Imagine gonna keep respawning. Heeb on the low ground with a smog, gonna look for another shot into the tank. Noxby on the ground as well, gonna get a kill onto Lordsy. Huge play by Nickel to decide that that was gonna be the call to go towards the C flag for Imagine.
I really would have liked to have seen those reinforcements. We saw 3 players from Parachutes come in onto the site. Would have loved to have seen them go over to A. Just with the amount of infantry players that Imagine focused onto the C site, Thunder was already fairly low and was going to go down. So I would have loved to have seen the resources shift over there towards Alpha and maybe put the pressure there. Kalzagi, yes, he is over there, but at the very least, it's a little bit more difficult for the tank to weed them out if they can get inside of that A site. It probably would have had a little bit better opportunity there. Terex, though, does come up through. He's going to be able to pick up 2. That is a beautiful, beautiful clear here onto that C site once again, and Imagine is looking so damn good. Even using the MRAP there inside the actual site in order to have just a little extra HP on that gun. This right here is over. Legacy will lose out on map number 1.
Just even now, before the round is fully over, just more players from Legacy bailing onto the B flag, or from the B flag onto C to reinforce an already lost cause. When it's just a tank and 1 infantry on A, you've got the helo advantage. Clear the roof, go to A. You need to rotate. You can't fight the same battles in a 5 versus flag on the flag you're losing on. It's just not going to work like that. And that last push from Imagine onto C, absolutely going to seal the deal for this round.
It absolutely is. And, props there to Imagine for playing that absolutely fantastic. I think that, honestly, that just shows you how good of a caliber of a team that Imagine actually is here. All that Legacy was able to do, and it just wasn't enough there towards the end. I do want to pull up the scoreboard, though, real quick. I want to check that out. Yeah, so oh my lord, look at that. We're going to be seeing Terex, Juggin, and Vincera all putting up double digits. That is absolutely fantastic. They're your infantry boys that are putting in some work. Noxby 8 and 7, so still not dominating in terms of the air. Kalzagi literally just chilling in the back. I mean, that guy basically did nothing but sip on his iced tea and enjoy the view. But nonetheless, he did serve his purpose. And on the other side, you can definitely see where those players just struggling so much. Infernus was the only one able to crack that double-digit mark, going 11 and 12. And you know, Legacy, that's pretty rough, right? I mean, you come out hot and heavy. You're going to have a 90 ticket advantage in round number 1, and then all of a sudden, it flips on its head. You lose round 1. It's going to be about a 68 tickets or so. You go into round 2. You're not starting out with the best, but you're starting to grab it back, right? You're starting to get it back, and then all of a sudden it just slips from your fingers. That's a rough time. And it's interesting too, because, you know, Dalton, you're a competitive player here. One of the things that I have talked to other competitive players in other games as well is that they say that the games that they would prefer to lose if they had to lose them are almost blowout games, right? Because they're done, they're over with, you can forget about it and move on. It's the close ones. It's the ones that you're just, if you just made a few different decisions, you would have been able to win. Those are the ones that stick with you and make an effect throughout a series. They absolutely did. And, you know, honestly, going into round number 2, you know, what are some adjustments that you saw from Legacy that you thought was pretty decent? Yeah.
Where Legacy went, you know, they missed the point because they had like 6 people of Imagine on Charlie, and they decided to like defend but also not defend, and then attack Alpha but also not attack. So I think that was a big mistake on their part, and if they did it differently, they probably could have won the round.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to be heading into map number 2, which is Rogue Transmission. An interesting map number 2. I don't think we've actually seen this other than a decide. Well, no, I take that back. We did see it. That was going to be, what's that? ESF versus Imagine, I believe it was, way long time ago. But anyways, Rogue Transmission doesn't come up in the series all too often. This is a map that is very interesting because of the vehicle setups that are on it. And honestly, like, this map can be really, really, really good, and it could also just be an absolute blowout.
Yep, definitely. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting map to see. I think Jets will be Heap versus Electrify, if I'm not mistaken. Then we'll see in the tank Kalzage versus Thunder. So it's gonna be a very, very interesting map. Both teams have great lineups for these maps, so I think it's gonna come down to who does the rotations better. Legacy is gonna have to watch out for Imagine on this one. If they let Imagine take the lead, and if they let themselves get dominated and run behind Imagine, they're going to lose this 100% sure. They're going to have to do something innovative, and they're going to have to take the lead themselves and lead this game, and not run in the tracks of Imagine.
So one of the things that I do want to point out is the fact that this is a 4-flag map. So we are going to be seeing a lot longer series here in these 2 rounds, just because, well, it's very hard to get a bleed, right? This particular map right here it's one of those where if you can grab a 3 cap, get out to a 20 ticket lead, that's actually a very huge deal. So we're going to be seeing these teams, you know, kind of just slowly but surely getting those leads and kind of pushing it. Now, if we do see the attack chopper in play, that is going to be absolutely insane, because that thing can just destroy people.
Yeah, agreed. There is a slight disadvantage to having the attack helicopter up as well. You're missing a couple of infantry, or at least one, max 2 players, on the flags. So the other team is able to push more flags and is able to, you know, have more contestants on the flags. But at the same time, the attack heli is a very strong asset. You can use it to drop over flags. You can use it to clear Charlie and Alpha. Also, a support on Delta. You can do a drop on top of Delta roof. So there's both cons and pros towards the attack heli. But it's going to be interesting to see if one of the teams manages to get him up, because most of the time we see the attack heli going down instantly when it spawns.
Yeah. Now, Grav, to you, out of both of these teams, because I don't think we've seen Legacy actually playing Rogue Transmission this season, which one do you think has the advantage here? Obviously, Imagine, we've seen a couple of looks from him on Rogue, but what do you think about him?
I think Imagine handedly has the advantage on Rogue Transmission. I like Phasio in the jet. I think that'll be their pilot, but I think Heeb is going to outclass him in the air, for one hand. A second thing, as you just mentioned, I don't think Thunder Black has a ton of experience playing this map, especially recently. I'm sure that he has a ton of comp experience on the map, but Calzaghe is much more in form. And I think we saw, isn't this the map we saw him go drop a 40 bomb last time?
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but
I'm pretty sure it was this one. I'm pretty sure that was this. That was this map in one of the rounds. So, yeah, he can absolutely destroy players on this map for sure. So I'm gonna put it for Imagine.
And I think if you guys ever watch his stream, like this map, when it pops up, he absolutely just destroys. Like he destroys everybody, but this map specifically, he is a god on, and definitely looking forward to it. But you know, to your point there with just the experience-wise, Gravity, you know, you're in a situation where, yeah, Legacy doesn't have the experience on it. Imagine does. They've played it a couple of times this season, so you know, if you're in a Legacy's shoes, like, what kind of strat are you looking to come out with to try and maybe overcome that? Like, what can you do to get that slight edge over Imagine that you're going to need?
Well, there's a couple things you can do. First, you can dump a ton of players on the D flag. That flag has the advantage on the map. You know, you turtle up there, you force the other team you force Imagine to put players there to defend, to try to recapture, and then you kind of spread out along the rest of the map. You go back to B, you go back to A, and you kind of, you know, you push along those flags as much as you can while you have them kind of held down on the D flag. Now, if Imagine has the helo up, the best recommendation that you could possibly have for this map is don't try to shoot it down. Just, if you get the jet up, jet ram it. Try to jet ram that helo. Get it down as fast as you can, because it's going to make your life miserable. If you're out playing this map with a helicopter in the air, as a tank, your tank can't do anything aside from maybe get to the B flag. So it's going to really limit your mobility on the map.
Yeah, rotate up underneath that dish maybe and try and stay safe. But we're going to be going live here in just a few moments. We'll see who's going to be able to take map number 2. Remember, guys, in this best of 5, Imagine already has one map underneath their belt. They did win out on Siege, so they are 2-0 up in this series. And they are definitely looking like they might be able to close it out here. We will definitely see for sure. But yeah, so we're going to be seeing Imagine over on the Chinese side. Legacy will be on the RU side. And I do want to ask right now, like, who is going to have the advantage in terms of sides?
I think Legacy will have the advantage on this side. The Russia side is definitely stronger. And we do see Phasio connecting the quad kill there immediately.
And the jet ram comes in as well. So no jets on the map. We do see those shots coming on out right at the very start. So Legacy is going to be losing quite a few infantry players as well. So we do have the tank just heading right on in to that helicopter point. A couple of infantry players here for Imagine are going to be there to maybe contest this in just a few short moments. But I imagine that probably, yeah, we're going to be seeing it focus down right away when it spawns in. Pretty typical there to see that happening. But Thunder is in a kind of a bad spot here.
Yeah, he is taking a lot of hits from a lot of different angles, and he does get taken down there. That was just a very unfortunate situation for him. He had Kalzagi in the tank shooting him, and then there was a tow launcher from Delta and some Strauss who spawned behind him. So there wasn't much he could do there, but Legacy did manage to take the Charlie objective, and we're going to have to see if Imagine will be able to take back the flag. We do see Lucas going for a rotation onto Delta, which is the right play in my opinion. He does have to play against Sunny there, and he does take him out.
Nice. So yeah, we are going to be seeing that C flag, or I'm sorry, D flag starting to get flashed over. But without that tank on the map, I mean, like this is pretty dire. Like Imagine's going to have a fairly big advantage, but we do see Kalzagi now starting to get pushed back. He gets shot with 2 straws at the same time, and as soon as I say Kalzagi and Imagine had the advantage, he goes down. No armor, no jets whatsoever. We are going to be seeing finally Legacy able to get onto that C flag with their own tank spawning all the way into the back, but yeah, that is a huge kill right there.
Yeah, definitely. And on the big map, while you were talking, I saw someone from Legacy manage to get a double road kill onto players from Imagine under the dish. So that was a very nice play there. We do see Imagine Legacy going towards Delta and Bravo, so they're going for a double cap. If they manage to pull this off, they're going to have a full cap. We also see both jets coming back up. So we're going to have to see what happens here. Both tanks are up, both jets are up. They're going to start dogfighting. I think Electrify might have the advantage here, but it's attack jets, so we're gonna have to wait and see who can pull it off.
Okay, so Vincera just killed himself with a straw. I would have loved to have seen that. But Kalzagi is going to follow it up with 2 kills, now 3 kills of his own, as he's starting to kind of mop up some of these players as they are trying to secure themselves their own gimme flag, which is pretty interesting here that they are seeing this much pressure coming out from Legacy right away. And we are going to be seeing Kalzagi just kind of in between these 2 flags, Delta and Charlie, just and Bravo, just kind of figuring out where he wants to position himself. Now, the infantry players are definitely doing some work right now. Imagine finally able to get up and into that C flag. We see Vincera just locking it down. He's going to be able to pick up at least 1, although he does get taken out from a straw. I don't even know where that came from. But, you know, when you're attacking this particular flag, Dalton, where do you want to be attacking from? Like, we do see a lot of teams maybe hitting that front side, which isn't too successful, but, you know, is it worth going the extra time and trying to go for this long flank?
I think it's a combination of both. You need to secure hillside control, which Imagine does now, but you also need to get the players onto the flag and securing the bridge area. So what they're doing now is they have hill control, but they haven't managed to secure the Charlie point control. So basically they're wasting their assets at the moment. We do see Tarek shooting a tow at the attack heli and taking it down, which is the right move. I think Electrify did take out Heap in the jet, so Legacy now has the advantage of the jet as well, and he is completely going to destroy everyone from Imagine who's still on the hill.
And I think the big thing here is that he's been able to stall out any kind of push, right? They have been stuck back behind this hill for a good 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds or so. And in the meantime, we are going to be seeing that B flag getting grayed out. Nobody was over there. So this is a fantastic opportunity maybe for a 3 flag cap to come on in. Only a 10 ticket advantage right now for Legacy. But if they can secure this 3rd flag, this would be huge. They're probably going to be able to get out to maybe a 20, 35 ticket lead before we see maybe another flag getting grayed out. Kalzagi is making his way over there towards B, so they have taken care of that position. So no 3 flag cap is going to be coming on through. But, you know, Imagine they're really struggling for some ground here. They're on the defensive this entire time. What do we need to be seeing coming out from them?
Well, we need to see, first of all, the jet who needs to go down for Legacy. But this is, like I said, this is exactly what Legacy has to do. They have to provide the pressure and they have to take the lead in this game. That's exactly what I've been doing so far, and I love to see it. I do think that they have to do a push towards Delta now, because they can have the jet support there, although he's dogfighting at the moment. But yeah, overall, very close game, and I think this is going to be a very interesting one to watch.
Electrify here, still doing the work that he needs to, and I think he's going to be able to get a little bit of damage in onto that jet as well, as they've just been going back and forth. And, you know, you did mention the fact that they need to be able to take him down, but you know, in this instance, your jet isn't having too much luck here, right? He's been dying, what, the 3rd time, I think now, or so. Would it be worth it just to go ahead and have that extra infantry player? Because you mentioned it before. Sometimes having all those players and vehicles is a detriment.
Yeah, indeed. I think Heap has to keep contesting Electrify the Jet, otherwise he's just going to roam free. But we did see Electrify take down Heap once again in the dogfight. We also see a big push from Imagine happening onto the Charlie objective. Thunder is very low. He's managing to get out of there, but a lot of presence from Imagine onto the Charlie objective. But we do see Lordy getting a pick onto Delta objective. If he can manage to get some spawns in and they can gray out this flag, that would be huge. Also, Legacy still has to be able to defend the Charlie objective because there's a lot of people there from Imagine.
Oh, Nickel comes on through. He will be able to trade on out, but does look like Legacy will get wiped off over there onto that C flag. In response, we are also going to be seeing over there onto D getting wiped off as well. It does see two tanks clashing here in the middle of the map. Kalzagi, I think, just went down, which that is absolutely huge. Opens it up. Maybe a push here for that B site. We're set up already for the transition of infantry players to go into Bravo. If they can start flashing this down, that's going to be massive. But the helicopter does get off. Yes, it does. And this is an opening right now for Legacy to be able to take maybe a big advantage in terms of these vehicles. That chopper getting up into the air is going to provide some critical support to those infantry players on basically any flag other than the radar dish, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is a huge play by Legacy. I think they have to take the advantage now and instantly go for a drop onto the Delta objective. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, because we see Santa underneath the dish. That's all he's going to be able to do. And we do see a couple of members of Legacy already on the Delta objective. I hope they can use this opportunity to cap the flag, but we do see Electrify and Heap not in a dogfight at the moment, but Electrify is coming in and doing some damage onto Heap. I think he will lose this again, and that will be a very bad situation for Legacy, for Imagine to be in.
Well, he is going to be making his way over here, though, onto that C flag. So there for just a few moments, he's going to be able to flash this thing down. But where is the push going to be coming in from right now? It does look like we are going to be seeing potentially over there towards that B site, underneath that radar dish. I don't know if that's going to be the wisest here for Legacy. They need to kind of stay out in the open, maybe, to allow this helicopter to actually help them out in the situation. But in the meantime, we do see that transition towards that A flag. So Thunder is going to go ahead and move on back to A, as we do see Kalzagi just pretty much zoned out to where he's going to have to live underneath that radar dish for now.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't look like anytime soon Kalzagi is going to come under from that dish. We do see Delta going into the favor of Legacy at the moment. We have a huge presence there. The attack heli is supporting, the jet is supporting. I think this is a very bad situation for Imagine to be in, as Legacy is just dominating at this point.
Oh, well, we have seen Legacy dominating before. It did not work out in the end. So Imagine, you can never count them out. We still have a lot of tickets here to have to work with for this Imagine squad. Nice job sitting up on top of those roofs. This is what you mentioned before, just getting those drops, being able to have that high ground advantage. So difficult to clean this off if you don't have any air whatsoever, because, you know, really Kalzagi he's not able to get any kind of an angle on it. Obviously, you don't have a jet up to be able to take that out, and the helicopter can kind of provide that support like we were talking about before. So piling lots of infantry players is basically the only option that we have from Imagine at the moment. So we do see more drops going to be coming on through, as they are going to be able to pick up some of those kills. Lorgy's going to be able to take down at least one. We do see Vincera down below, maybe able to pick up a few of these players who are parachuting down. But honestly, if I'm Legacy right now, I'm living on top of those roofs.
Yeah, that's exactly what they have to do. They need to have like one guy. What they're doing right now is very smart. They have one or two guys who are just like picking off infantry in the buildings, and then they still have one or two guys on top of the building who are securing the cap and securing that rooftop, which is exactly what they have to be doing here. So at this point, all Imagine can do is hope to defend the Delta objective and recap it. Like, Legacy still has the vehicle dominance. They have the jet up. They have the attack heli up. There's not much else they can do than go for Delta at this point.
So, you know, in the situation as soon... Oh, we do see the helicopter getting picked up. That is going to be huge here. So we do have the air asset, the major air asset, getting picked up. That does leave it now for an opportunity for some rotations to happen. I think one of the reasons why we didn't see anybody going up towards that A site was because of that helicopter. But now that it is down, it opens it up. Kalzagi might get a little bit aggressive, at least get those drops off. Yes, you do see it there on your screen. 4 players now onto A. and this is going to be an opportunity to stop this bleed, as we do see about 60 tickets, 70 tickets or so in the favor of Legacy now, and they have got to be absolutely loving that. But we've seen the map, Dalton, kind of flip on its head.
Yeah, exactly. That heli going down, and then the exact perfect push from Santa that he did. He managed to drop a guy there at the exact time that he had to, which managed to give the flag towards Legacy there. And
Look at this tank fight. Look at this tank fight. Over there on B, we've got Calzaghe and Thunder about to meet right now. Infantry players also going to be going back and forth. This could be huge. Whoever really wins out this fight should own this flag. So far, it is going to be grayed out. Calzaghe is not in the best of position. He's getting hit from both sides, 28 health. He needs to get those repairs in as quickly as possible. He's still able to survive. This is the power of Calzaghe. This man just does not die easily. But Thunder, with I believe 2 reps on him, that's going to be near impossible in order to actually survive from. So Thunder is going to go ahead and leave on out. The helicopter is back up once more. So now Calzaghe, once again, even if he goes down, this is going to be a rough position for him to be in.
Yes, exactly. And like you said earlier, the map has been flipped around once again. The only flag that Imagine has right now is Alpha. We do see some presence onto the Charlie objective, but it's going to be very hard for them to capture with the jet and the attack heli still being up. I don't think Electrify has died once, which is a proper play from him. We also see the Delta objective graying out right now. Let's take a look at the scoreboard there. Yeah, we do see Electrify. He died once or twice, but we do see Calzaghe back on the Bravo objective, trying to cap it. We also see a huge presence from Imagine on the Delta objective, and it looks like Imagine is going to take the 3-flag hold here.
Oh, look at this. Imagine not dead yet, guys. As I said, you got to be always watching out for them as they're trying to make this comeback happen. Now, it does look like that A side will get flashed down and taken over here from Legacy. Just too many places to have to be at one time. But we do have some, at the very least, the bleed stopping. All right, so Imagine does have a little bit of time to work with. 100 ticket advantage now in the favor of the Legacy boys, and trust me, they are not going to want to let this thing go. But I do want to point out the fact that Calzaghe, even though he lost out on B, I don't think he actually went down, which is very impressive because he's stuck in probably one of the worst positions that you can be, and he was still able to stay up and stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. Calzaghe, he went to like 20 HP there, I think, but with the proper repairs and the active protection, he managed to survive, and he's still alive underneath the dish, which is indeed very impressive. We do see Thunder just picking up infantry left and right. Like, I think in the couple of seconds that we've watched him, he has gotten like 6 or 7 kills already. He's just picking up kills, supporting his team, and they're able to capture Delta like this. This is very impressive again by Thunder. Calzaghe is still stuck under the dish. Not much he can do there. He's getting poked a bit, but he's managing to stay alive, which is impressive by him.
And I like this here right now from Legacy. They're going to go ahead back over towards this Delta flag. No reason not to contest this one instead of B. You do have all of the advantages. You're going to be able to get up on top of the rooftops. You have that helicopter to help out as well, and they will be able to get this thing grayed out. So right now, we do see Imagine really struggling to hold on to this. And honestly, just the fact that they've been able to kind of keep it relatively close at the moment, just with how dominance that we saw earlier, is pretty darn impressive. So now Thunder is going to be over here onto this Delta site, maybe providing some spawns down onto the ground, maybe clean up a couple of these players as these, we do see Loco able to take down Nickel, and we'll be able to look for number 2. Not quite going to be able to get the shots in on him, but he's getting pressure from 2 different angles and will get taken out. So still Imagine fighting and definitely doing the work that they need to over here onto this Delta side. And we do see transition possibly. Was that a Jeep that was going down there? I think it was over towards that B site, maybe going to be ramping up towards A. Yes, it is. So a flank possibly going to be coming in over onto that A flag. But right now, take a look at Calzaghe in the tank, because he is going to be fighting back and forth with Thunder. I think he was actually just pushed away by Thunder, still having some trouble just getting out. And Thunder is actually just getting out, getting those repairs in, while Calzaghe still at 39 health. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to take another casual shot here, maybe get a few reps in. We're just chilling.
Yeah, and I think Thunder did get taken down there by some straws, but Calzaghe is in a very, very tough position here. He keeps getting strawed, the attack heli is still up, they're providing pressure underneath the dish now, the one place that he is safe from the heli and the jet. He does have a repair guy coming in now. He's at 12 HP, which is going to be very hard for him. We do see Thunder coming in under the dish as well to help his infantry take down that tank. The heli did get taken down by Noxby there, which was a nice throw. It's still a 2 against 2 flag hold.
Oh
but,
my god, what is this?
We do see slams coming in from Nickel onto Thunder. Thunder survived, but he is barely alive there. That was very interesting to see.
That was 3 infantry players that just came out of nowhere, was able to do some damage, but not quite get the kill on him just yet. And Lucas, with some crispy shots, will be able to take down Nox as well. So possibly another 3 flag cap going to be coming on in. But I love this coming out from Legacy right now. They're going to be hitting both B and D. So this is going to be potentially a 4 flag cap. At the very least, all flags will be getting grayed out.
Yeah, it does seem like Imagine only has infantry presence on the Delta objective. I don't think they have anyone left on Bravo. So they're basically fighting over not getting the 4 flag cap against them, which is, I have to say, very impressive by Legacy here. I didn't expect this to happen. And it's been a beautiful game so far. It's not over yet, but we do see Imagine going down to 50 tickets now, which is going to be very, very hard to come back from at this point.
It absolutely is. Electrify still up inside that jet and doing the work that he needs to. He is getting some damage in on him, though, so maybe he's going to be able to win out on one of these fights, but it has been a very long time coming. And oh, we do see the jet ram coming on through. That's going to be, I believe, both jets down. Might give an opportunity here for Imagine to, well, get some of this pressure that's been on them for so long in the air off of them and give Calzaghe an opportunity to push somewhere else around the map. But we do see some really good shots here from Imagine. The attack is going to be happening over here on C. And did that helicopter get up? It did.
Yeah, the heli got up again, which is a bit of a misplay by Imagine, but he just picks off that infantry very easily. He stopped the Charlie push. Imagine is capturing Bravo right now, but we do see Legacy instantly rotating to Delta, which is exactly what they're supposed to do. We do see Calzaghe coming back up in the tank. He's going to try to support on the Delta objective, but that is going to be very hard having Fejo up in the attack heli there.
Oh, it is. So with Calzaghe now over here onto that Delta flag, he is pretty much all alone. Needs to deal with all these infantry players as he is going to be going back and forth. But Thunder is going to be down onto that B side as well. He's going to have to deal with some of these infantry players going back and forth, but he has some help at the very least to be able to kind of knock these guys down and zone them out. And he's doing a fantastic job of it so far, as we will be seeing that flag getting grayed on out. But this is the problem right now of allowing that helicopter to be up in the air. Calzaghe really doesn't have a whole lot of room to work with. He has to get up underneath these buildings in order to stay alive.
Yeah, he does, and by forcing him into a position like that, it's very easy for Legacy Infantry to throw him, to put some slams behind him or on top of him. So he's dealing with a very impossible situation, and I have to say that he's definitely making the best out of it. He is managing to do some damage for his team. Unfortunately, he does get taken down again, but he did his best to prevent that flag from getting taken.
Loku, an absolute monster right there, picks up 4 kills and the tank. He's absolutely dominating over there onto that Delta site, and that is going to be able to close it out here, ladies and gentlemen. 151 to now 6. Nobody is in a position to get any kind of a gray out onto a flag. We have just seen some world-class play coming in from Legacy against a team who, honestly, I've seen look a lot better here on Rogue before.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. We have to also take in consideration that this is Imagine's pick. So Imagine actually picked this map. And if you look at the scoreboard, we see Lolcaw going 33 and 16. We see Thunder going 35 and 6. They have just, their vehicles have dominated this map, and it is very impressive to see this happen by Legacy.
We do have to point out, though, the fact that Electrify did do a fantastic job up there in the skies. He was able to do a huge amount of work just in terms of keeping the opponent's air down, and that did leave those openings for them to eventually get that helicopter, right? You did see them kind of pushing them back. Calzaghe had to play up underneath the dish for quite a while, and it was just really, really rough for him. So, Gravity, from what you were watching there in that round number 1, what is it that Imagine just absolutely messed up on? Like, what was it that they failed in order to allow Legacy just to get so much of an advantage?
Well, there were a couple things. First thing is first, they lost the push for the C flag really early on. They may have not had they took out the helicopter on the pad first, but they allowed Legacy to get the helo 3 times And that just put them underground for so long. Calzaghe couldn't do anything. If he actually made it out of the base with a new tank, he was stuck under the B flag. And any time he pressured a different flag, like the A flag, Legacy immediately rotated and put pressure on the B flag. It was always a complete rotation for Legacy, and they did really well with that. In the meantime, on the outside flags, Thunder Black had no problem farming any, the B flag, A flags, D flags, anything, any infantry that were moving from Imagine. He was there to intercept them, and he did a great job. Now, another thing that did really well for Legacy there was they did really well with Electrify and the Jet. I was unaware that Electrify was on the roster, so I mean he did excellent against Heap. Like Dalton mentioned during the game, I think he only went down like two or three times. Aside from Jet Rams, because I don't think he actually lost a real dogfight. He did fantastic, and he kept the tank and the infantry, especially on that back hill. Imagine couldn't push the C flag at all.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like that was a very impressive play coming out from him. And yeah, just being able to keep that infantry down over there onto that C flag was absolutely crucial. But, coming in through it though, Imagine they had to have played against that kind of situation before, right? Where you're not able to win the air battle out. Their responses, they were doing really well, actually, I think, for the majority of that game with holding on to that Delta and that Bravo flag.
Yeah.
So if you are in that situation, what different moves could Imagine have made in order to come out on top?
Honestly, there's no easy way to put this. It's really, really hard, the situation that Imagine was in. When you don't have the jet up, when you don't have the helicopter up, and kudos to Feijo for soloing the helo 95% of the time and just destroying any infantry that moved out. The few times that he actually dropped a player on the D roof, those were the only times that he had a co-pilot. He had an extra gunner for a couple seconds, and then he dropped him off on the rooftop, and he kept up the pressure on the D flag. Imagine, like you said, there's not much they can do except for, maybe continuing to hold the D flag, and they really did a good job at it. But they really, aside from BD, they did the best that they could. There was almost no way that they were going to hold that round without any air support at all.
Well, they definitely, I think, did a decent job there in the mid game. It just got away from them there towards the end, and Legacy was able to walk away from it. And do want to mention, guys, if you are just joining us, we are in map number 2, technically map number 3, round number 2 now, with a 2-0 advantage so far in the series for Imagine. So this is a crucial map here for Legacy to be able to take this, and we are going to be getting started off right here on the bat with Electrify, as he's going to be getting some really good damage into Imagine's jet.
That was an amazing head-on by Electrify. 60 damage on the head-on. Heap did 0 damage. Was very impressive. We're gonna have to see what happens here. We do see Santa going aggressive onto the Charlie objective. This will go in favor of Imagine. This is the stronger side Russia, obviously, but we're gonna have to wait and see if Legacy is able to take down that attack helicopter, and it does look like it will go down, and indeed it does. Thunder manages to get the tank shot and finishes off with the HMG.
Wait, is the helicopter exploded, or is it getting repaired? I thought I saw it laying there for a second. Anyways, yeah, it does look like it has gone down now. We do see those infantry players back behind. They are going to try and push it here for Legacy, but as you said before, Legacy does have the technically difficult, harder side, just because you do get to that C flag a little bit late, and that Calzaghe is going to have a field day of trying to clean up a lot of these infantry players. But I do want to point out the fact that Bravo is being flashed still, but I think it's going to be going in the favor of Imagine at the moment, which would be huge. A 3 flag setup for them right from the start. This is exactly what they needed to get back into the game.
Yes, exactly. But as you said, that we do see Legacy managing to gray out and even capture the Charlie objective at the moment with the help of their tank. I didn't quite catch if the Imagine jet died yet, but if he did, that would explain why Calzaghe is getting pushed off the Charlie objective. We do see a push from Legacy onto the Alpha objective already, and we also see both jets still being up. Infernus is looking for that one infantry who is Teryx. Teryx is just waiting, hiding, looking for that other infantry. We're gonna have to see the 1v1 happening here. Teryx is in the advantage. He has the height, he has the cover, and Teryx manages to take down Infernus on the Alpha objective.
So I like that play coming out right here for the boys over there on the Legacy side going in for that back flag as quickly as they did, get some pressure on the map there. Just really good call there for Imagine to be able to leave a guy into the back to deal with that situation. We do see them still fighting over here onto that C flag though. A couple of infantry players from Imagine are going to be taken care of, but Kawasaki is down below just ready and waiting. He's just biding his time before he can actually make that play. But over here on Delta, we are going to be seeing it starting to get flashed. So we are seeing kind of the inverse of what we had before, to where getting inside those Delta buildings, very hard to kind of weed that out and basically flipping the map. So at the moment, we have Imagine making Delta flag their home. They're going to be able to take this 3 flag advantage, get out to an early lead, and even have Vincera out with a couple of lock-on rockets to take care of some of these stray vehicles.
Yes, exactly. We do see Kawasaki also pushing onto the Charlie objective. Charlie is graying out
nice
as
shot.
well. Yeah, that was a nice shot. We do see the Charlie objective getting grayed out. As I said, we also saw a push from Legacy onto the Bravo objective, which Kawasaki will respond to. Right now, it's looking in favor of Imagine. The Russia side is definitely the stronger side on this map, but we're gonna have to wait and see if Imagine can get that 151 ticket, if they can stay above that and get the win on this map. Right now, we do see the tanks going at each other. Thunder versus Kawasaki. Thunder has the infantry support from the Charlie objective. Kawasaki is pinched in between 2 enemy flags right now, Bravo and Charlie, getting shroud from both sides. He's at 24 HP. A simple push by the Legacy tank could end him here.
And we are going to be seeing now a 2-2 flag standoff. This is definitely an odd one for sure, as Legacy is taking the middle 2 flags, and we do see Imagine with the outer 2, as Kawasaki is going to start getting a couple of rockets coming his way. But he is absolutely shown that, well, he can survive pretty damn well down below into that B site. But now with 2 flags flashing, we do see A starting to go into the favor of Legacy. That's going to be a 2v2 fight going back and forth, and should be an interesting one there for sure, as that's going to be Thunder still holding strong there onto that C. But yeah, over onto A, we're still going to be having a nice engagement going back and forth. Legacy is able to survive so far, as Sunny is going to be providing those spawns there for a squad. Big spawn actually coming on through. 3 players are going to be up and alive for Imagine to try and make this happen, and even a medic to help out maybe with this push. It's going to be huge here if you can get those revives going on through. But this is going to be a nice little flank. We'll be able to clean this up. Yes, he will. I don't think there's going to be any possibility that he survives. So now that they have been able to grab this flag, do you want to see Legacy spawning back in here for the save, or should they be rotating somewhere else on the map?
They will get probably one spawn in, which we see happen, but I don't think they should commit to this flag. Imagine has 3 members on the flag. They know the spawns are going to be coming in. So I think the smart play for Legacy would be that they go back for the Delta objective and try to get their home flag back, because that's what's hurting them right now. And it's exactly what they're doing. We do see Kawasaki doing a very aggressive push onto Thunder. Will he get the back hit there? We do also see Legacy support with toes. This is a very dangerous push by Kawasaki here, and I think he managed to take down Thunder, so the push worked out. Very well played by Kawasaki, and we don't expect anything else from him.
Absolutely, and a 4 flag cap just about to come on through. This is what we talked about before. You can't count them out. Even waiting for the helicopter to spawn back in, and wow, this would be huge if they actually get the helicopter up. We do see that Delta flag will be getting grayed. A does get grayed as well, but I really want to focus on the fact that they have gained now about a 40 ticket advantage here in round number 2. Remember, they did lose round 1 by 151, so they still have a big long road ahead of them in order to make this comeback happen. But now with this 3 flag cap, it is absolutely doable. And right now, Legacy really struggling to kind of come on through. Lords is going to be making his way up through. We'll be able to take care of some stray infantry players over here onto that C site. And with Kawasaki setting up over here, this is going to be a very rough push to have to make, as he does have some... Oh, wait. Oh, I was about to say almost running into those mines, but not quite. He does survive for the time being, but spawns onto that C flag are also going to put a couple of players here back behind that mountain, which does give the infantry players from Legacy, they're going to be in a pinch. It's going to be rough to kind of play out of that.
Yeah, exactly. We do see Vincera being on the Delta objective as well. Legacy is just getting pressured right now, and this is what I said before. if Legacy manages to take the lead in the game, like they did last round, they will be able to win. But right now, they're following in the footsteps of Imagine. They're constantly having to counter and trying to protect their flags. And it's not working out for them at the moment. We do see the Jets still dogfighting. So without the support from Electrify, it's a lot harder for Legacy to be able to do anything right now. We do see Bravo getting grayed out. Delta went in favor of Imagine again. I think the only flag that Legacy is still present on is Bravo, and this is going to be crucial for them.
Oh, Nickel doing some work there into the backfield. He's going to be able to clean up 2 more kills there from Legacy, cleaning that up. And my lord, are we going to be seeing a possible 4-cap coming in once more? Phasia is going to be downtown trying to make sure that he holds on to this B side. They are struggling just to get any kind of presence whatsoever. And this is absolutely scary when Imagine just flips the switch, right? They are just a next level team when they actually make it count, and even Calzaghe getting onto that B point as well. So this is a desperation move, right? Where is Legacy going to be coming in from? They're trying to hit 3 flags at the same time. C is going to get taken care of. Delta looking like it is pretty much stalled out at the moment. B is also stalled out, but the helicopter, yes, it does get taken down at the last second, and that is going to be huge here for Legacy to make sure that they're not going to have to deal with another air asset.
Exactly, and as you said there, the heli did get taken down. We do see Delta objective still being contested by Imagine. I think, if I saw correctly, that Electrify won the dogfight against Teep, so Legacy will be getting that asset towards in their favor. And yeah, we do see Electrify just having air control right now. So this is the last chance that Legacy has to turn this around if they can utilize the air superiority and manage to somehow get back onto the Charlie objective. We do see a couple members rotating there, but I don't think there's much they can do here. This is a very, very rough spot to be in. Oh, and that was an amazing shot by Calzaghe. Oh my god, that was just... Oh.
And that, my friends, is why Calzaghe is known as the best tanker in the game. Oh my god, he pulls on through. He's going to be looking for some more kills up on top of this Delta flag. He actually gets picked up, but not before doing a huge amount of damage, and that is exactly what they need to see. 201 now, 286. Guys, we are getting very close to Imagine being able to pull out this second round with just 49 tickets left here to make that happen. It is definitely doable, but we do see Thunder struggling over here onto the C flag. They will be able to push on through. Does look like Legacy is going to have the numbers to be able to cap this out. This would be absolutely huge for the Legacy boys to be able to maybe even this up. We're also going to be seeing that Delta flag getting flashed out. It is, though, going into the favor of Imagine. So we're just seeing Imagine able to rotate to these flags time and time again, and just really there's nowhere for Legacy. It's like they have to zerg from flag to flag in order just to stay in this game with at least one site.
Yes, exactly. That's basically what they're doing, and this is why Imagine is so damn strong. They took a loss in the first round, and instead of getting discouraged and being like, god damn it, we lost, and getting tilted, they just were like, okay guys, we have to step up our game, we have to do things different, and that is exactly what they're doing this round. They just, like you said, flipped the switch. They went full try-hard mode, and they're managing to just dominate Legacy at this point. We do see every single flag except for Delta on the map blinking right now. Alpha in favor of Imagine, Delta in favor of Imagine. Charlie is going in favor of Imagine, and it seems like the only flag Legacy will be able to hold is the Bravo objective. Also, the attack Kali up for Imagine right now. This is looking very, very bad for Legacy right now.
Is this the dagger? Is this the dagger that ends it out? Are we going to be seeing a clean sweep here? A 3-0 in this best of 5 series? It could very well happen, and this would be absolutely insane if it does. Legacy are fighting for their very lives right now with 50 tickets left. They just need to drag down around 40 more tickets in order to take this win, but it's a near impossible situation. We do see them getting control of Bravo. C is going to be flashing, but with the likes of Calzaghe and now Nox up into that helicopter, it's going to be so difficult. There's those drops coming on through for Delta. They're going to have to deal with a 2-pronged attack now coming on through. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. We need to be maybe seeing a rotation over to A, just at the very least, get that helicopter back away from this site.
Yeah, this is a very impossible situation for Legacy. Like you said, they have the Delta drops on the roof. Calzaghe being shot at right now, 48 HP. He's managing to get away there. But like you said, it's going into a 3-flag hold again for Imagine, and there isn't much Legacy can do about it. We have the heli up for Imagine. Legacy just struggling to maintain a single flag right now. This could very well be, like you said, the dagger that puts them down.
All right, well, Electrify is going to be back up in his jet here very, very quickly, so they will have some air presence maybe to take down that chopper, but Legacy is starting to, well, have some desperation plays. We see him pushing over here towards C. Does look like maybe that four-wheeler is going to head on over towards A. Yes, they are, so we're going to be seeing A and C both flashing here in a second. B is going to be getting completely grayed out, but it doesn't help that bleed. 21 tickets left to make this happen. Electrify trying to take him down, but can't. Does get shooed away. So for now, the helicopter is still going to be staying up, still going to be staying alive. Calzaghe does make it up towards B, and oh my lord, this is a rough one to have as he's getting onto the site. We'll be able to take down a couple of these infantry players. That's a 4 flag cap coming in. The GGs are being thrown. What did we just witness? 183 to 151 in round 1 there for Legacy, and they were able to take it with just about 20 tickets to their name. Absolutely insane plays coming out from Imagine.
Yes, exactly. This was a very beautiful map. Very well played by Legacy, but we have to congratulate Imagine for taking this Summer Cup. Very big congratulations. They were by far the strongest team. Also, props to Legacy. They managed to get that one round and they showed that they have the potential, but Imagine overall just being the stronger opponent here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that right there, my friends, is just a world-class play coming out from those boys. So Gravity, man, you know, we got to say, we love seeing Legacy being able to come back, have a good round in number 1, but round number 2, I mean, that was going to be Imagine's round all day long. They looked absolutely fantastic, getting that 4 cap in there towards the end, securing it, but they were in control, I think, the entire time.
100%. I mean, it actually took 8 minutes for the dogfight for the dogfight to end, for the first dogfight. That was Hebe versus Electrify. Electrify took 8 minutes to take out Hebe, and then 30 seconds later, Calzaghe takes out Electrify with that tank shell. It was incredible. So the air assets completely not in the Legacy's favor. They had a huge problem with that. It gave Imagine free reign to do whatever they wanted on the ground, and then they got the helicopter up. They kept the pressure up all around the map. The rotations were excellent for Imagine. They just definitely deserved that map win.
Oh, 100% agree there. And to be honest with you, I don't think that we really thought it was going to go any other way. I mean, I thought maybe we were going to be seeing a 3-1 series at the very end, but doesn't surprise me that it was a 3-0. Nothing against Legacy. It's just that's the caliber team that they are playing against. Now, going back into round number 2, you did see Legacy starting to kind of claw their way back into it just a bit, right? But really, you know, if you think about it, what was the X factor there for Imagine in round 2? Like, what was it? Because as you said, he was tied up in the jet for a very long time. Nox really didn't get into the helicopter until the very last few minutes of the game. I mean, what was different? What was the presence that just allowed Imagine to be so dominant that whole entire round?
2 factors. First, it was the rotations by Nickel. We saw him take the quads around back to the C flag constantly whenever that was under pressure. He was constantly on the D flag as well. The team was able to spawn on him all over the place. Second, of course, Calzaghe, unchained. Like, he was able to go ham, whereas the first round, he was completely pressured, barely did anything the first round at all.
Have to agree. All right, guys. Well, once again, congratulations there to Imagine. Actually going to see if we're going to be getting a interview. Yes, we will have an interview here in just a few moments with somebody from Imagine to see what their point of view was. And we're going to have to say goodbye here to Dalton when that does end up happening. But, you know, I do want to say a real big thank you to Dalton, Gravity, Patty, and Obvious here, the production crew. Absolutely everybody did a fantastic job here this year. It was great to be a part of this. That was absolutely stunning, in my opinion, in terms of the production quality and the casting that we were able to get out of it. And I got to say, Dalton, my man, it was awesome to be able to cast with you. I wish you started casting earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I found a new love for something that I didn't know existed. So hopefully in the future I'll be doing more casting in the next Battlefield. If there is any competitive, I'll be sure to be a part of it. And it was a pleasure casting with you guys as well.
Well, you know, Dalton, when you cast, that means that you're a washed up player, right?
Yes, I am ready. I am ready to embrace the title. I'm ready to embrace it.
Join the club. That's right.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. But yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to what 2042 is going to be bringing us here, especially with BCL and Level and many other leagues and tournaments that are going to be popping up as to how this is going to be turning on out. So I'll definitely look forward to that here in the future, guys. But I think we'll go ahead and take a quick break before we head on into our interview, and we'll be right back. We are not taking a break. I absolutely lied there, as we're going to. I just want to mention that right now, Patty is like, no, we're not doing this. Oh my God, Patty's like, oh yeah, you just got done saying great production, and then we pull this stunt. Oh man,
Thanks, Brett. Yep, good job.
It's what I do, man. It's what I do. You know, Patty is sitting here like, dude, you've been throwing me like curveballs the entire time that we've been casting. Stop it. But it's what I do, man. It's what I do. I'm sorry. And it's kind of his fault because he didn't give me a set list here of what we were doing for times. So I'm going to blame Patty. We're just but no, it's been good here, guys, and we do appreciate you for staying and watching, and we hope that you did enjoy the content. Gravity, I know that you and I are definitely looking forward to the next game, but we have definitely enjoyed casting here together. I think, you know, what Dalton was mentioning before, finding that love again. This is me coming back here this year casting. It was absolutely fantastic. But we are here with Heeb now, the one, the only Heeb. And we're going to be talking to this guy here who absolutely dominated in that second round of Rogue Transmission. You look good in Siege as well. But Heeb, man, how you doing? How you feeling?
Yeah, absolutely ecstatic. I think it was a very well fought victory. They gave us an insanely hard fight, even though we had the 1 point advantage and it ended up being 3-0. I think they made it extremely hard on us. I can only say good game, well played to Legacy, and to everyone in the chat cheering us on. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, mission accomplished.
Absolutely. So, you know, now that you guys have been able to take this win, you're feeling pretty good about yourselves. Well, we'll get into that in here in a second. I do want to ask you, though, throughout this particular match, you know, we talked about what you guys were going to have to do to prepare for these guys, you know, what you thought about, you know, just Legacy making it to the final. Because I think this is the first finals. Isn't this the first finals that we've seen Legacy making? At the very least, in quite a long time.
I think for a long time, yes.
Yeah. So not really, you know, used to seeing them getting up to this level. So it was definitely surprising for them to beat Nafu. But, you know, coming into this, you know, did you guys expect to have a fairly close match, or this is kind of, you know, you're like, all right, this is business as usual?
I mean, the way we did it, we gave them the first pick on the maps, and like the banning and the veto and picking. And in my opinion, it ended up being pretty easy for them to gain momentum quickly with Siege their pick. Like it hasn't been our strongest map in the past, but I think we managed to turn it around well. And we managed to clutch that one out and went into Rogue already knowing this is our pick, we can win it. Yeah, they performed much better than we thought they would. And I think we also then in turn came better than we thought we could. I think both sides played it pretty well. Yeah.
Speaking of coming back, real quick, because you mentioned Siege, I want to go back to that round number 1.
Yeah.
How are your team chemistry, your comms? How was everybody in that round 1 when it looked like you guys were going to be losing that by maybe 100 tickets plus? I mean, it was looking pretty dire there for a little while.
I mean, we knew that if we fail the heli fight, we need to push every asset we have over to the other side, try and establish any kind of spawn on both sides, so we can fight for the back flags until the situation stabilizes itself. But in that moment, we lost the heli fight. We already knew what's happening. We went over that scenario literally 20 seconds before, so in that moment it was pretty easy. Like the comms were good, and then when we started to get into the B lobby and started dropping out of the elevators, people caught me personally in the parachute, but Terex made it on, and then we started getting onto the flag. And as soon as we had this 2 flag hold gone, it was a good job, boys. Like. It wasn't too chaotic. It got chaotic later on in the rounds, but yeah, everyone's pretty agitated if you start losing in the finals. So yeah, but I think we managed to make it pretty good on the ears with
absolutely did. That was one of those moments to where, you know, I know back in the day anyways, when you're in a situation to where, you lose out that hard, right? Even if it's not a map of your own choosing, right? But when you're losing out that hard right from the very start, it is near impossible to be able to make those comebacks. So the fact that you guys were able to kind of gather yourselves, make sure that everybody was on the same page, and then actually execute correctly and be able to come back with that win was just absolutely insane. I think that's one of the reasons why your team is definitely on the way up there. So props to you on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly ask you about round 2 of Rogue. You had that. It looked like you definitely turned it on for the jet fight against Electrify round 2. It took roughly 8.5 minutes for that to go his way, and then he ended up getting taken out anyway. What went right aside from the air dominance? Did you guys just have a different strategy on that map after the first round?
The way I approached the air game on Rogue Transmission in the first half, he definitely caught me by surprise by playing as well as he did. But I saw him practicing against Giro on the dogfight service on Firestorm, so I saw he was sweating it, and I hadn't really played it in a while. But on the first half, I remember I took out the quad bike to Charlie Hills. That's one of the points we focused the most on. Try and establish Charlie Hills so we can take down the heli together with the tank. So we have 2 angles, so the APS of the tank on the helipad can't block it. But we had the conversation about trying to get more infantry on the Charlie Hills. So yeah, that kind of didn't really work out the way it had to. And in the first fight, he took me down, and they ended up having the heli for the rest of the round pretty much because they never lost Charlie. We never really had enough forces to get on the Charlie burn with the hills and like sandwich this flag. So I was always up against jet and helicopter. I managed to take out the heli, I think, once. Teryx took it out once. Not really sure what happened in the rest of the round. He was solo seating it with heat seekers, and he had pretty good awareness, so I couldn't ram him. He did it pretty well. On the second round, though, I dusted my laser guided on the quad bikes, and in the first 3 turns, I realized I warmed up in my turn game, and we could keep it up. And also in the halftime, I told Teryx to have more like Igla support on the back flag, because they had Iglas everywhere on the map, not only on the back flag as it's usual, which also lost me quite a lot of fights when unexpectedly all of a sudden you hear the lock on, okay, if I don't move out of here in 10 seconds, I'm going to be dead. And we had a lot of Igla fighting with Electrify also in his base then when it came to an end. But yeah, they played extremely well, and so did Electrify, and that was an insanely good dogfight.
Excellent.
It absolutely was. And I mean, the fact, like I said, again, that you guys were able to come back like you were. I mean, it ended up being, if you add up the tickets, I think it was like a 20-ticket game in Rogue, which is pretty insane when you think about it, going back and forth between the two of you guys. So, again, congratulations to your whole entire team. They played absolutely fantastic. Kazagi always doing a fantastic job. I mean, like, what did you guys even know that he was able to take out that jet when he did in second round?
Funny that you asked, because someone literally said, wow, holy shit, nice shot. And like no one knew what the fuck was going on because he didn't say anything. Like someone said, oh nice, jet is dead. And then Santa like 2 seconds later, jet is dead by the way. I'm like, oh nice. That was pretty clutch. Like shots like that can cost you more than 50 tickets, and we won by 20. So the man's insane. What can you say?
The crazy thing is that Obvious literally just switched over to his point of view when he got that kill. It's the perfect time. He's going to love that into any kind of montages that he decides to make later on. That is for sure. But so again, congrats. But now moving forward, you guys, I would imagine, are probably going to be taking a break from competitive play. Like you said, maybe doing some scrims, maybe some pugs here and there, but 2042 is around the corner. It has been delayed, so you do have a little bit more time in between now and then in order to kind of see what the game is going to be bringing. But I mean, are you going to be set up in wanting to play in competitive for 2042, even if we don't see any big name tournaments going to be coming in support for it?
Personally, yes. As you talked about, it would require a lot of effort. I'm not sure if I'm ready to put that in because of my studies and everything in my life right now, but I'm definitely looking forward to competing in it, especially if it goes big. And our boy Van Serena team's in the works of trying to make happen what is possible, And on that same note, as you said, Obvious, I think he's done a great job spectating in this entire tournament so far. Like the camera works. I would really like to say thank you, because he did a really good job. And yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so what you're saying though, is that while you may not be playing, we are going to be seeing Caster Heeb.
Caster Heeb, we don't know. We don't know. I remember.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, I would have loved to cast a little bit, to be honest, but I prefer to play, to be honest.
Oh, well, we'll get him on here at some point. We will absolutely do it, at the very least, maybe as an analyst later on. But thank you, Heeb. Once again, congratulations for this win. Definitely looking forward to what you boys are going to be doing in 2042. We're going to be ending it out here, though, guys. Absolutely appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching. Again, I do want to throw a quick shout out to obviously Gravity, Dalton for fantastic casting and analysis that was happening today. Want to give a shout out to Obvious and Patty for doing a fantastic job in production. Guys, this is not a one-man operation. This takes a lot of people to come together to make this happen. Keeping up with the stats back behind the scene, making sure that the brackets are updated, making sure that the teams are talking to each other. This all takes a lot of time, a lot of effort going into this. So definitely props to everybody who was helping out to make this thing happen. And then, of course, for GG for hosting this event as well. Absolutely love those guys and looking forward to what's going to be coming out from them here in the future. Make sure you do follow them on Twitter as well as follow the channel. The links should be down below, so you can just click on those, or at the very least, maybe one of our admins can post the links there into chat. Definitely check those out, because that's where we're going to be updating every single one of our events that are going to be coming up in the future. And you want to be a part of them. You want to make sure that you're going to be tuning in and watching them. That is for sure. Gravity, you got any last words?
First off, again, shout out to all the teams that participated in the league this season. Legacy had a stellar run through the lower bracket. They actually made it through all the way through to get back to this final. So huge shout out and congrats to them for making it this far. Once again, huge congratulations to Imagine on the win this season. And also, side note, shout out also to Combo Brain and Prolosco for the analysis desk as well.
I was going to say that. Yeah. Also from Imagine, thank you everyone here at BCL and Enter GG. That was awesome.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for us tonight. Take it easy. Have a good one. And we'll see you eventually in the next cast.